on audio, not video.
Video.
But these crazy Greyhawk Awakening expecting fans.
Well, they shouldn't be. I
Well,
put up the schedule.
yeah, that's a good point.
I hope they're
These crazy Monster of the Week expecting fans.
Listen, I'm officially at the point. I'm just hoping that somebody tells me where I'm supposed to be on any given.
Yes, you're that busy.
I am.
Where's the box of blue? There it is.
I feel that.
So, yeah. So, Thomas, I've done in 6 days. I've done streams on what? This is going to be the third or fourth different channel, and I'll have played. I've streamed 5 out of the 6 days. I'll have streamed on been on 4 different channels, and I'll have played 4 different RPGs. Five games total, 4 different RPGs, none of them D&D.
Not busy at all, are you?
Yeah. He's prolific.
It's yeah.
Find him in every corner of the internet.
Amateurlific.
Just tell me. Somebody tell me where I'm supposed to be.
Well, Sunday I did Blue Box. Today I'm doing this. And then Saturday I'm playing 5e. So 2 of my 3 are D&D.
See, Rob's here tonight and tomorrow night because he's doing LMA.
Busy boy.
About Bard.
I don't have anything that exciting. I just get to pretend to be a lobbyist this weekend.
Oh.
Not exciting at all. Rob, are you planning on singing tomorrow night?
No.
No. We're talking about bards. I'm not going to
maybe some slam poetry.
You are a bard.
You know, I think some good slam poetry could be. I'd enjoy that.
I got Evelyn's message. I think when I woke up on Sunday morning, I'm like, or was it Saturday morning? I don't even know anymore.
All the days blend together. I think it was Saturday.
I think it was, I didn't get back to you until Sunday. That's right.
Yeah.
Because at like 2:00, actually that's right. Because at 4:00 on Sunday morning, when I was just finishing the pre-gens for the game that I was running on Sunday, I'm like, I forgot to respond to Evelyn, and I still don't know what we're doing. Bards
is a great topic.
Hey, if you're looking for another person on that stream, I'm not terribly busy.
What stream,
man?
Well, Thomas Fellow, he knows a thing or two about a thing or two.
I play a bard rogue combo named Raimondo, who's a con man, and I have a heck of a lot of fun with that character.
Yeah. I mean, we're going to be focusing on the bard, obviously, as bard as a class and it's on its own, for the most part, because we want to talk about some of the silliness that goes with it.
And perhaps overcoming such silliness?
Yeah. Keeping the bard from derailing. Yeah. Falling into the bard trap is part of it.
Oh, yes.
We all know the bard trap.
We know the trap.
It is so easy to fall in. I wrote like a bunch of cons that I would pull on my DM, and what's great is they like in and out of meta worked. He had no idea what was going on and what I was role playing, and that was the best part is when I actually conned my DM.
All right, let's kill some stuff.
Well, you wanna get going already?
Apparently.
Apparently, it's going to be a little bit of a shorter night tonight.
You're all gonna die in the first 30 minutes.
Okay, good game, y'all. Pack it up, let's go.
Amanda, you're just gonna have to tune in tomorrow and find out.
Yeah, we already killed off Val and Dakota. So.
Yeah, they are story-wise, they're dead to me.
Wow.
I think
reasons for not being here.
Yes.
They're dead to me.
Yeah, they're dead to me. I think what we can do actually,
this is their third unexcused absence. So.
Yeah, they failed the class.
Their characters die. They drop a letter grade. I think what we could do, it wouldn't make any sense. We'll go to video. It wouldn't make any sense. I'll wait for our stinger. Hi guys, welcome to Monster of the Week.
Oh, hi.
Lovely atmospheric music in the background that you're so used to at this point. story-wise. I don't think it makes sense for Dakota to just not go and help you guys fight this thing. So if someone wants to narratively control Dakota, I think it should probably be Rob? No, because, sorry, Raven and Chuck were the ones casting the spell to control the thing.
Yep.
I mean, it could be Rob, because in theory, if Chuck has to keep concentration the whole time, that's kind of what he's going to be doing. So if you want to also take control of Dakota and just fight something, I can... you should have access to her character sheet. Just whoever wants to. You can just stab some stuff. She's got a sun blade, so...
No.
It's
yeah.
just sunny.
Yeah.
Lady.
It's just a lightsaber. Anyways, hi guys. Welcome.
Wow.
We've got a slightly smaller crew than last time. Hob was busy. Very valid excuses for not being here. Wishing all the best. But we're continuing the mystery from last week. We left off with the party having survived a Faerim in its lair and making their way home to lick their wounds. Val, the regular human person, decided to do her best to assist the innocent Proudfoot family in finding their way into the arms of protective custody of some sort, while the rest of the party went back home to learn that the fight is not over. That something has, in response to the Faerim, made its way out of the ancient city that lies below all of Yellowstone, and probably has for a very, very long time, and they're learning more and more about this place as they seek to defend it from something that might already be wanting to defend it anyways. But
the government is interested because they owe back taxes.
Before we get into more details, why don't we introduce our wonderful players? Let's start with Pat. He's antsy.
No, I'm Uncle-y. Actually, I'm good.
Ooh, gotcha.
All right, -1 on your next roll for the bad dad joke.
I don't plan on rolling. I'm just gonna pick some
I
butt.
just plan on succeeding.
That's right. I am Pat Draws. I am the resident BlueBoxRPG stream troll and local, not local. What's in other words? Darn it, words are hard. And anyway, I do fan art. So
Very good
me on
fan art.
streams.
We
I
talked
make
about it last
cam
week.
When they do something funny or bizarre or humorous, I will try to capture it in a quick sketch and post it for everyone to see.
Unless he's
Other
playing.
than that, this is the only stream that I actually game in at the time. So
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
if you want to see my artwork, it is on Pat Draws on Twitter. I have an Instagram, but that's mostly for the minis, if and when I ever do a mini. So, but regular art's on my Twitter account.
You did a mini of your character for this game.
I did that on Hero Forge. I didn't really.
No, you painted it though, right?
Yes, I painted. It was real hard because he wears all black.
Yes, it's just really basic. Who are you playing?
I am playing Adrian Yanev. I am a special agent of the CIA Special Division Paranormal DARC Division.
All right, I'm just gonna stick
And
with it
I
now.
am
I
the
like it. It's cool.
professional.
Sweet. And he is if you can't tell, a tiefling.
I said the professional. What? Oh, yeah, that too.
And really cool. Chandler,
Well, that goes without saying.
who you playing, bud?
I'm Chandler. I am playing Mary, who is a Firbolg Flake, which I would think of that as a conspiracy theorist for the layman, but for those in the know, they are the Parawatch that take up the vigil against the elitist, the globalist, and all the other ist out there. They're all on watch, especially the monsters. So she's a part of this group, trying to get to the bottom of what's going down in Cody, because she's keeping tabs on basically everyone in town. Considering it's not a huge town, it doesn't make it that hard, but...
Well, I mean, lizards do run the government, and the moon is a secret base, right?
We had a dragonborn president last term.
And the base on the moon is not a secret.
Yeah.
I guess I forgot that saying lizards run the government could actually technically be correct in this universe.
Yes.
That is funny. But they're not actually.
If
Oh, it's all.
can have a pizza shop.
They're all yuan tea, which is actually. Maybe I should write that into the world that they're all yuan tea.
I'm more on beer than tea. I'm not really a tea person.
God, dude, you're racking them up tonight.
I gotta break out that gif again.
All right, Evelyn. Who are you?
Yeah.
What do you do? Who do you play?
I mean, I'm Evelyn, and I'm Theater Evie on the Instagram and the Twitter, and I'm also Raven on Twitter now.
True.
Well.
That's right. There is a Raven Twitter.
Yes, there is a Raven Twitter.
With at least 2 followers.
She's got a few now. But yeah. So hi guys, I am Evelyn. I am Theater Evie on Instagram and Twitter, and here on Twitch I am on BlueBoxRPG 3 times a week typically, because I play in the Real Lords campaign and in the Greyhawk Awakening campaign, and I like to play in Monster of the Week when we have Monster of the Week. It's great, and I'm usually on LMA. So yeah, that's me, and I play Raven. She's a halfling, and she is of the Monstrous playbook. Which means she's a werewolf, and she's adorable, and everyone loves her. She's so fuzzy.
What's really cool though about the Monsters playbook, you don't have to be a werewolf. You could be any kind of monster you want to be. These were pre-generated characters, but I'd like to think that werewolf is a pretty good one for Evelyn to be. And last but certainly not least, our only personally curated and created character in this that was not a pre-gen. Mr. Rob, who are you playing?
I am playing Charles Chuck Durbin, the mystical man of mystery, or something. Anyway, so you can find me on Twitter, Phantom NJ_DND, and I'm everywhere.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. Right behind you.
Actually, for the next couple of days, though, I will be here because obviously I'm playing tonight. Tomorrow, I'll be hosting Lore Masters Arcanum, where we will be discussing bards. There's lots of fun, lots of trouble, and we're going to try to figure out how to, possibly escape the really bad cliche that they've become at times.
Oh God, yeah.
I'll also be appearing in a podcast that has already been, it's an actual play podcast of a TTRPG that's already been recorded. We're just having cast interviews, and then that I think it's Game Night Heroes will be putting that out. Arnar Productions, Rainbows and Razor Blades, the Twitch channel. I will be playing in a couple of one-shots coming up later this month. And sometime in May, I've got a couple of campaigns that will be starting.
This guy ain't busy. You also can't see him at BlueBoxCon, which is definitely where he's going to be as well. Like, who's this guy think he is? He's everywhere.
I'll be everywhere, yes. Yeah, come to BlueBoxCon. We will have fun.
Yeah, that is very true. And I love that, when you give your players the ability to create characters in a world that has guns, they will be a gun wizard if they can.
I am the spell slinger.
Yes, he is the spell slinger playbook, and his spell focus is a Colt revolver.
Well, I've also added a shotgun to that.
He does not have a shotgun. Don't let me forget. So I did a little bit of mentioning as to what happened last time, but our intrepid hunters did some slaying of a ancient enemy of the Netherese known as a Faerim, who seemed to be in the nascent stages of a much larger plan that they thwarted, thank goodness. And they found themselves heading home to relax and heal after this tough battle when Raven was confronted by a vision of the future. Dakota returned from some sort of a trip with her mother after retrieving a baby Bolette, who now has joined the party. Had Edgar, one of the other old party members, played by John, tell her that something weird is going down and has escaped its way out of the ancient city of Sikoris. And Mary, being Mary, did some sleuthing around the internet and found some clues as to where the next big event will be. And you all seem to be all signs seem to point to the Smith Mansion. Our second mystery that the hunters were involved in involves the ghost of Francis Lee Smith, who just wanted to finish his house up. And everyone kept wanting to get in his way, or he couldn't do it. And so now they find themselves making their way there, prepping for a fight against an enemy known as a Tomb Tapper. Defenders of
3 Tomb Tappers.
These Netherese, yes, specifically 3 as far as Raven's vision is concerned.
Yes.
And they did a little bit of preparation. Mary has created some sort of weird science sonic cancellation device. Chuck has created a magic shotgun that can take over the minds of constructs. And Raven is assisting with that. Dakota was looking into other means of doing this, and you guys were all prepping to get ready for today. So you guys know that halfway through to kind of mid-afternoon today, these things, in theory, should arrive at the Smith Mansion, giving Mary's triangulation calculations. So, what do you guys do? As you get ready, which cars are you taking?
Like I said,
how early do you get there?
Ready, or are we on our way?
That is up to you. So last we left off, you guys were sort of scattered throughout Cody, doing what you needed to do to prepare.
And Domenico's.
Specifically, a lot of you were at Domenico's, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't have to be. You can be anywhere in Cody that you need to be.
Right.
If you want to do further research, Edgar's house is open. Yep.
And how far is the Smith Mansion from Cody?
The Smith Mansion, I've got a map to it.
45 minutes or 3 hours? I can't remember.
I think it was about a 45-minute drive. 27-minute drive.
Oh, okay. All right.
From Cody.
I know something was 4 hours away, but I can't remember.
That's Old Faithful.
Oh, Old Faithful, yeah.
And so, you guys, you've got a short enough drive to be able to get there at any point throughout the day that you want. When do you want to get there? And what are you doing?
Didn't you just say kind of need to be there by midday?
Midday to sort of mid-afternoon is the estimated time of arrival, but there's nothing to say that you can't get there significantly earlier than that to set up and prep.
Right.
Which we probably should.
I'm just going to send out a general group text to everyone saying, let's plan on leaving Domenico's by 12:30 to 1 o'clock. So finish up your preps and meet here, and we'll head out. And in the meantime, I'm going to be calibrating systems on the van.
Sweet.
In case they're needed.
Totally down for that.
Vince?
Mary is just furiously typing away on her laptop, trying to get this algorithm figured out before she has to go. She does exclaim, absent-mindedly, "We have to be able to get there early. We might be able to create some kind of trap. I mean, have you guys ever seen Star Wars? Like, even the big ATSTs, the Ewoks could take down with, like, little sticks and rope, and, like, maybe we could find a log to, like, hit them with or something?"
Yes. I saw Star Wars. I remember the one guy yelling, "It's a trap." That's very helpful. We should yell at them.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Which one was your favorite?
The one with the giant elephant machines.
That one sucked. I hated that one. Not a real Star Wars fan.
Chandler, remind me which requirement you stuck with on your weird science.
It takes a while.
It will take a long time to get working?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, and Thomas, I actually leveled up at the end of last
Sweet.
episode,
yeah, did anybody else level up?
I did, but I totally forgot to choose something, so I don't.
All right. If you guys want to take some time to choose some stuff, I think that it sounds like you guys are heading there.
I'm just letting you know I have a level coming, but I'm not going to take time out to try and research what I need at this point.
I mean, if you want to, feel free. If you got if like other role playing is going on, go for it.
No, I'm just letting you know because I have to clear my experience.
So, in the meantime, for preparations, Chuck is going to just keep reviewing the runes on the shotgun, the runes on his pistol, as well as check the enchantments on his duster.
Okay.
making sure that everything is ready to go and that.
I have an interesting question for Chuck. The
Sure.
old gods of the Forgotten Realms, at least the specific like major pantheon, is still worshipped widely throughout the world. Does Chuck follow any of those gods? If you're thinking of a magic god, then Mistro would be your one.
Are you just assuming because Chuck's the oldest, he follows the old gods? Maybe
These
Chuck
gods
is
are
like open-minded
ancient
and follows
gods.
the new gods, or the young gods.
Just curious. Like, would Chuck be doing anything religiously magical in preparation?
No.
Okay.
Chuck is magic for magic's sake, and
Sweet.
the gods can all take a hike.
Can you, just for fun, roll use magic for me, which is plus weird.
Mm-hmm. That's a 10.
Oh, sweet. I'm going to give you the first time you try and use your shotgun, +1.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Your preparation and your sort of focus on this device over the course of what has at this point been greater than 24 hours, you know exactly how it's going to fire off the first time. You've loaded it in the way that you need to, and it hopefully won't jam. But it's a shotgun; they don't really do that. Anybody else doing anything specific? Raven, you want like a handful of silver for fun?
Well, I'm gonna wear my gloves when I do that.
Okay.
Because I don't want to burn myself again.
So are you planning on casting any spells?
She'll collect the supplies that she had for the spells that she previously had prepared against the Faerun, just because she's familiar with them and they're good ones to keep on.
Yep. All right.
Tap, I suppose.
I'm into that.
Yeah.
Mary's the only one in the van with me, or was Mary typing in Domenico's? I forget.
I'd probably be in Domenico's, but my rugged Dell laptop can go wherever I need it to.
No, that's fine. I just wanted to know where you were. I go back into Domenico's and Mary, I hate to interrupt your mad typing there, but I could use some assistance calibrating the weapon systems on the van. Could you give me a hand, please?
Yeah, okay, that's fine. Wait, yeah, is it the gun? It's the heat ray, isn't it?
Well, it involves calculations. I'm not that great at math. I just want you to come double check some of my algorithms.
Yeah, of course. And I'm sorry about overloading it and shooting Raven. I guess I should really apologize to her too, but she scares me.
What? She's so fluffy.
She's not. She can turn into.
She's cuter than Suzanne.
I've seen her tear into other people.
I've seen you tear into other people with your accusations and feelings. We must learn to accept others for their strengths, not their weaknesses.
I think you
will find Raven quite an accomplished ally.
No, I certainly do. You know what? I agree. There you go.
She may save your life one day.
Yes.
Anyway,
Let me just get these calculations done.
So we go out into the van, right? And I ask Mary just to go ahead and sit in her oversized seat there. And I'm going to hand her a bunch of paperwork with a bunch of scribblings and numbers and stuff that looks relatively like math, but probably nothing. Okay. And I say, okay, this might get a little bumpy. Hang on a second. And I start pushing buttons. And as I'm pushing buttons, Mary hears a strange sound rumbling underneath her feet in the middle of the van, and suddenly kind of feels the van lift up about 4 or 5 inches, and hears the sound coming from 4 different corners of something dropping down. I'm like, okay, that seems to have worked. Did you have any problem with the stabilization system when you were firing before, or?
No, not exactly. It sounds like your transmission just fell out from underneath your truck.
No. That is the ground clearance unit, so that we can rotate and
on the spot.
Elevate. Yes, As long as there is nothing in our way, we can turn a whole complete 360 and back.
No, that's
as
very cool.
well as some elevations and stuff. And I start spinning the handle on the thing, and Mary starts rocking back and forth in her seat as
you guys
the
are
van
in the
starts
parking
spinning
lot
around.
of Domenico's in a black van that's just
Yeah.
fully
Oh my
rotating.
God, this is
We're part of the lowrider car show. Don't worry, it's all hydraulics.
I am so surprised that you haven't been reprimanded for this type of behavior, but I'm not really your superior, and neither do I want to be. This is very cool. I will say that much.
This could come in handy. Okay, I stop spinning the car around, and I tell him, okay, however, in all seriously, I need you to go to the front and check the Thunderwave cannons and make sure that they come out correctly.
Of course.
Up by the
Thunderwave cannons. Yep. Mm-hmm. This is a siege tank and a UPS truck. That's what this is, Adrian.
Yes, it's called covert.
This is covert. This is covert. I'm telling you, unmarked big vans doing
Mary, can you please yell at me from the front of the van and let me know if the cannons come out.
Okay, I'll do that.
So, she walks out to the front, and I give her a thumbs up. Is she ready? Okay. So I push the button to the Thunderwaves. Mary will notice that the headlights of the UPS van pop out a little bit and then slide upward into the van, and suddenly these two rectangular kind of cannon barrels pop out, stuck to a ball peen. Are they all the way extended? Is there anything blocking their movement?
I'm gonna look at them, never having seen them fully extended or extended at all, and just go, "It looks great."
Okay, and I start moving the joystick around. Are they moving? And she should see them relatively free forming in a wide range of motion in circles as I'm swiveling around in the sticks.
Yep, they're doing their thing.
Alrighty, cool. That's all I need. Thank you very much. You can go back to your typing now. And I turn everything off, and the van, the headlights pop back into place, and the van drops back down, and the four stabilizer legs go back up to where they are. Thank you. This may come in handy later.
Yeah, of course. You're so welcome, you owner of UPS siege equipment.
It is not UPS. It is CIA.
That's no. Yeah, it's CIA. And what am I saying? It wouldn't be UPS. It'd be the USPS. Because that's the Fed, right?
Sure, why not? We'll go with that.
Yeah, of course. All
Thank you for your assistance. You have been most helpful for a change.
Have fun with your heat rays suit.
Cool. All right, so everybody's ready. When do you guys want to be at the Smith Mansion? What time of day?
Well, I said we should leave around anywhere between 12:30 and 1, so that puts us there anywhere between 1 and 1:30. If anybody else needs more time, they should speak up if they think they need more time.
On the ride over, I'm just typing.
All right.
So, yeah.
Chandler, roll plus sharp for me.
Of course, I'd be happy to.
I'm going to see how close to done you can get this thing.
I'm very smart.
But is she smart
just
enough?
A cool, crisp... is that true? Is that a 6?
Oh. Do you want to use luck?
Yeah, I'll use luck. I've got a little extra. And my luck special lets me know an aspect of the current situation that connects to the conspiracies that we are investigating.
That's really interesting. Okay, I will remind you of something that's probably been a while since you've heard it. Francis Lee Smith was approached by a voice in a grove in the middle of Yellowstone while he was on a hike. It was something that felt warm, felt round, felt safe. And it told him to build the house. It gave him the mental image of how to build it. It told him what to do.
Mm-hmm.
That voice was you find most likely to be Sikoris, or the Mythalar, this big sphere of magic itself, reaching out to him, asking for defense. And so, sort of how that might connect to the larger conspiracy is, if the house does go down, significantly bigger and badder things could potentially be on their way. You are reminded of him hearing the warning of some sort of an eyeball ever watching, trying to find the Mythalar.
An eyeball. If we're oh, sorry, go ahead, Pat.
No, I'm just being a smartass. Go ahead.
Okay. That's rare.
Yeah, it isn't. I know.
Yeah. As I'm typing while we're driving, I say an eyeball. And an eyeball. I stop. Like I almost close my laptop. It's like, that wording is specific. An eyeball, not eyes. An eyeball was watching this area. I'm saying out loud.
And no one is apparently replying to you.
Yeah.
Mary, I swear to God, if you start going off about the Lord of the Rings, I will stop this van and hit you.
Listen, all that's derivative of Gygax. I don't need to look at the derivative. You got to go back to the original.
But what about an eyeball? Carry on.
I mean, there's something there. There's that wording is specific. What? And I'm gonna if I can roll me an investigation or something.
Yeah, roll investigate a mystery for me.
Yeah, because I'm thinking, like, are there any entities that are well known as having specifically like an eyeball, and
I don't know. Does anybody in chat have any ideas?
So you're saying eyeball like a cyclops?
No, not a cyclops wouldn't be as smart to do this. Chandler know exactly what this is. I got a 10 on the roll.
That's a complete success, which means you get 2 questions.
Oh, okay, yeah. I think I'll ask.
One of them is, what sort of creature is it?
Yeah, what sort of creature would be a big evil eyeball that could be trying to take down mages and the like? Now,
your mind, being on the Gygaxian end of it, goes straight to a beholder. That is where your mind goes first. Now, that's not to say that there aren't other possibilities. Like Pat said, there could be some ancient old cyclops with lots of power. Any number of scrying orbs can look like eyes. It's not to dissuade you from it, but your mind first goes to beholder, and you can't help that thought.
Yeah, if it was a beholder, here's a fun one. Where did it go? Where did they go exactly? Was there, because just like all the other creatures on the world, when the world
you
shifted,
mean at the cataclysm? Where did it go?
Yeah, do we know? Because like the Nephiris, or what? Not the Nephiris. The thing that we just killed.
The Faerun. You have no idea where the Faerun came from.
Yeah.
Would Chuck be familiar with beholders?
Absolutely, and I think Raven would too, in all of her readings of D&D stuff.
And Mary's.
Chuck
Adrian has no idea where any of it came from.
But what about its other eyes?
I don't.
Yeah, they normally have 10 altogether, don't they? Well, and the middle one.
I don't know. It's a theory that I'm not ruling out. But I remember the ghost, the spirit, saying an eyeball was looking at him. And if it is a beholder trying to take this down, which one could it be? Where are they?
Oh, no. Oh, God, no. I don't
What's
believe in
wrong?
God, but the legend of Vecna?
Oh, I vaguely know that. That could be bad.
I remember
bad
something
news.
about him in the books.
Chuck's face blanches a bit at the possibility.
If not, Vecna.
What is this acne thing?
Vecna, He was like a really bad necromancer sort of fella, and then
Sought
he lost an
eternal
eye and
life.
hand. Yeah.
Like, does he have one eyeball?
Yeah.
It's
The
an
other one's
artifact.
sort of. Yeah. The other one's been. I mean, he has one in his head and one elsewhere.
Wait. He only has one eyeball, but it is an artifact, so he has no eyes. He just has an eyeball on
Well,
a
he
chain.
has one in his head and one that's the artifact.
So which one is the one that's dangerous?
Yes.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, anything attached to Vecna or related to Vecna is probably bad news in general.
Catastrophic might be an understatement.
Now, why don't you really quickly for me, Rob, roll plus intelligence as well, or plus sharp? What is intelligence? We don't do that here.
I sent you a question as well.
Yes,
rolled double sixes.
Oh.
Ooh.
You rolled 2 6s?
I rolled 2 6s.
Oh, what a smart lad you are.
Oh, holy timing.
Holy timing, man.
That's the first time I've done that since I started playing this.
You recall information on, and I mentioned earlier the deities. Vecna was considered a deity in many circles, not because he had a domain, but because he was so powerful he might as well have been. But he traveled around a heck of a lot. So whenever whatever happened to the Weave of Magic happened, as far as you're aware, travel between the planes has been rendered impossible. So he may have ended up wherever he ended up in. Not to say he didn't end up here, and that's where he was when that happened. But the possibility is distinct that it could be Vecna that is being referenced. But the thought of other possibilities also don't escape your mind from it being what could be going on.
Chuck walks up to Mary and he's like, if you can come up with other ideas, now would be a good time.
If not Vecna, then perhaps if it would be a beholder, there's several ancient ones that I remember reading in the history books. I remember what was it? Glormal Glula and Xanathar? Was that its name?
I think you're thinking of Xanadu. That's a movie.
No, I don't have it mixed up. No, it was Xanathar. But again, something like that,
But these beholder things sound like they have many eyes, and you're saying that the cryptic message implies only one eye.
There's a lot.
Yeah. Well,
Don't overthink it, Mary. Sometimes it stares you right in, well, no pun intended. It looks you right in the eye. The obvious choice.
The beholder has one very large central eye, and then there's 10 smaller ones on their eye stalks.
But do the beholder's eyes tend to talk about things?
Talking eyes, not so much. But with the way the center part of their body looks, they're just a big eye and a mouth, basically.
I love how literal Adrian is about everything.
It's like a
beings of death and other bad things.
But if it wasn't Vecna,
but Mr. Smith didn't talk about many eyes or many beings. He said one specific being told him to build this house to protect Yellowstone. So many beholders don't sound like one specific being.
No.
Many beholders sound like a lot of different things all looking the same.
Let's not rule it out, because if
I'm not ruling it out, but I don't want to waste time chasing a bunch of wild gooses.
Wild gooses and such, but if a beholder was it and Vecna was ruled out, I would seem to remember them being able to harness magic themselves and being intensely xenophobic. And what better place for a beholder to call home than the middle of nowhere, underground, with a magic shell around it? It's not...
I have one other thought. Would a beholder want, or could one beholder be a threat to a large underground city, or would one large being be more of a than needing the protection of a sphere?
I don't.
You're saying that this Vecnic, the one-eyed lizard dancer, is a known large threat. I don't. Yeah, that would need some kind of shield of the amount that Smith built. These beholders sound more like a smaller threat.
Yes,
they're actually pretty dangerous, and depending on who they're going up against.
But are beholders dangerous on a, like Chuck said, on a global catastrophic scale, or is this Vecnic, the lizard man, the bigger threat?
Necromancer, I would consider him a higher threat than a beholder for sure, but it's still possible for a single beholder to do quite a bit of damage. They have magical abilities, they have their gaze negates abilities of people using magic against them. It's all sorts of nasty stuff.
And I think it's to be said that whatever is going on here, they're trying to protect it from the eye, whether it's Vecna or such. So I really do think whatever's at stake here relies on us protecting this tower completely.
Okay, but is not the tower already protected? Is not what we did when we helped Smith finish his job?
It should be protected, but whatever is coming based on my dream that I had, it's they want to destroy the tower. Because the tower itself is generating this sort of protective something. I got a sense of protection.
Okay, so that would assume that the threat is coming from outside the tower instead of inside, like we might have surmised earlier.
Yes, yeah, no, exactly, yeah, exactly. You get it now. Yeah, I thought we were on the same page.
So
whatever it is trying to destroy
these three things coming after the tower, would they be known associates of this Vecna, the naked dancer person?
I mean, it could be possible, I suppose. He had quite the cultist following, from what I understand.
Mary, does your internet friends have any kind of association of this naked person with the belly mouth things?
Maybe, but I don't know if I want to talk to them again. They're being just
Mary, the world is at threat. This could be the one chance we have to save it. Can you put your pride aside this one time and do for the greater good? We need information from any source at this point.
I understand.
We're going into battle.
I understand. I just don't think you all get how much I've already given up. But I can try. I can. I'm just one person. I'll bust out the laptop and do a net friends roll.
All right.
I put on my most serious face that you know, and I'm not plagiarizing or patronizing at all. To when I got them, like, do it for Suzanne. She would be proud of you.
Oh.
I nod. I got a 6, which means I actually burned some bridges, and they're not helpful on this one.
And I don't imagine you care to spend luck.
No, not on this one.
You're probably like up to 4 luck already, aren't you?
Yeah, I've used quite. At this point, I've been through quite a bit.
Mark experience.
They're just laughing at me for having actually posted the geotag. Like,
they laugh at the idea of some sort of all-knowing eyeball looking over you. And actually a number of people just leave the chat room that you're in.
Yeah,
just wholesale.
I'm not crazy. I'm not. They think I'm crazy, but it's not like last time. This is real.
I go over to Mary and I hand him my personal laptop.
And
I'm like, do you think you could find some information if you had better access?
I'm gonna push it away. I'm gonna say, right now I need to finish my code. I don't want to deal with it. I need to focus, and all of this talk, it's really stressing me out, and I really just need the code.
Right.
I just need to
Come. Do what you need. Calm down, relax, because we will need you clear-headed in the near future. We will.
You guys believe me, right? You guys don't think I'm making this up.
No, we're trying to use your information to verify what the actual threat may be.
Okay.
I'm counting on you, actually, believe it or not. That's why I asked you to go to your friends, but I don't want it to be something that would break you.
Thank you. I'm not lying. I promise. I wouldn't do that. Not to you all. I I just need a code. Thank you. I'll
Okay,
I'll
cool.
be here.
We've still got a little time to go before we get there.
Chandler, I can't have this much character growth in 2 weeks of sessions from you.
That's what you get.
You gotta stop.
Chandler's trying to wrap Mary up because she's got to go to law school.
Oh, jeez. All right. You guys, after this lengthy conversation, freaking out over the bigger picture of what might be going on in the world connected to Cody, arrive at the Smith Mansion. You recall there was a bit of a rise going up a sort of looped gravel driveway that leads you up to the Smith Mansion. Nearly sits on the edge of a cliff. It's only about a 20-foot cliff, nothing major, but it still is there, and this house sits on it. It is looming and creepy in every sense of the word. And Chuck, for you, other than possibly coming as a tourist, this is your first time seeing this house. You tell me, but it is different than you've seen pictures of before. It looks like there's new 2x4s with it doesn't even look like their treatment has soaked in all the way and dried yet, sitting at the top of it with what look like loose copper and PVC piping just sort of at weird angles jutting out of the top of this nearly 6-7 story tall tower. You're muted.
So Chuck is observing the tower, trying to make sense of the various things that to the naked eye would, or the uninformed, would seem just random work done.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to understand if there's a significance to them that goes beyond, well, bad workmanship.
Yeah. I'll actually say this, Raven, you notice Chuck doing this. Curious about what's going on. If you want to explain it to him, you can, otherwise I can.
Do you have a question about the tower? I just noticed you looking at it.
There's something about it that disturbs me, and he's like studying the architecture, he's studying the things that seem just kind of out of place. I'm trying to make sense of it all.
I'll actually say this, as you do begin to walk closer, you do notice, kind of with your pretty decent vision as a marksman, some of these pipes appear to have something carved into them, more than just, their diameter and length.
Did you hear about what happened here? It wasn't that long ago.
Did I? I'm not clear.
Remind me, how long has Chuck been in town? Just give me like a rough estimate. Doesn't matter.
Not all that long.
That was my thought. So you probably didn't hear this story. It didn't necessarily make national news. It would have been probably statewide at best. And you were, too busy getting into town and getting involved with these people to have looked up anything beforehand. So, no.
Well, in that case, there were some boys here, and one of them died. It was pretty awful. But it was a bit of a misunderstanding, really. Unfortunately, the smith who owned this home when he was alive also continued trying to complete his the building of the tower in his death as a ghost. Um, he and his son haunted this place, and the boy was killed because Smith sort of seemed to assume that he was going to prevent him from continuing building the tower. We fought the ghosts and found that the best way to handle the situation was to help complete the tower. It serves as a protective force for this area. And those runes, and she'll kind of gesture at them, are carved into this to as a protective measure. And if any of the sequences is broken, it seems to would, or at least would, break the protective spell that this place creates.
And Chuck, as you guys, I imagine that you're entering into the house. As you cross the threshold into the house, the runes on your gun brighten without you needing to touch them, and you feel a surge of arcane energy around you that you have never felt before. And I'm not even going to make you roll anything. You have heard of ley lines before, and you might have visited one once just out of curiosity.
I was just fixing to ask if me and Mary were also walking with him, or was it just Raven and Chuck at this point?
That's up to you guys, but you feel that you are standing atop one of the few threads of the weave that are left in this world, and this ley line of energy just sort of empowers you standing where you're at.
I was going to mention the ley lines. I was going to say he built the house upon something called a ley line thing, which is why the runes are glowing like they are. They draw upon the ley lines.
Chuck looks over at Adrian and to Raven, and then at his guns, and you hear him whisper, "Sweet evening stars." Wow. Okay. Maybe we have a chance.
Good thing you're a human, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, yes.
So
about that.
So last time you guys entered the house was on an offensive going in. Now you are entering it from a defensive standpoint, going out. How are you doing that? And who's going where? And Dakota, as a reminder, is with you guys. You just tell me where she is, and she'll
well,
do
the
what
big
she
question
needs to.
is, when we last left, the relative of Mr. Smith was putting up fences and security barriers because we told her she had to.
Yeah.
So are we going to be able to actually get in easily, or
you guys find that that there was a gate that surrounded the place. There's no reason to get into the details of it. You guys probably snipped the lock on it and headed your way up anyways. Nobody's here. It doesn't look like anybody's been here for at least a couple of weeks. And doors are not a problem. You can get around them, open windows. This place doesn't have glass anywhere, so it's hard to kind of lock it up as a house itself. It does have doors. They're made of solid wood. But really the only thing major in this house is a single iron furnace that sits in the center of it, that looks like it was meant to heat up the majority of this crazy looking internal area.
I forget, didn't you say there was also a basement area?
There is a very small muddy room that can be accessed via a treacherous looking drop in the corner of one of the rooms, or a sort of a cellar door on the external of the house.
Adrian's just going to walk around to the back cellar door to make sure it's either secure or it doesn't look like anything's living under the house at this point.
There is a dummy padlock on it that has not been latched. It's just on there to make
feel
it give the
attacked.
appearance of Okay, I mean that's up to you, my guy. To give the appearance of it being locked when whoever was previously using it didn't care to keep it locked, and you can throw open those doors, go down and look, and you see just this muddy room that appears to, throughout storms or whatever rain comes through, just fill with water and get very, very muddy.
But it doesn't
and
look
then
like
dry
it's
out.
been messed with since the last time we were here.
You don't see boot prints or anything
or
of any kind.
Unusual
Yeah.
animal tracks. Or
Since the
anything
last
like that.
rain, everything has been washed clear of this room.
Okay. I walk up and I just let Chuck know, and Raven already knows them. I do not know what kind of magical things you need to check, but there is a basement, very small, dirt-filled that floods when it rains. But if you wanted to check for any unusual magics down there, that would probably not be a bad idea. Just to make sure it's all safe.
Cool.
Yeah, Chuck nods and he starts making his way, and you can hear him. He's sort of might possibly be mumbling to himself a bit because, yeah, ley lines. It's been a long time since he's come across one of them.
Felt anything like this, that's for sure.
And not one this strong, that's for sure.
Dakota will go up to you, Mary, and I imagine that you're still feverishly working away on your code.
Yeah, I'm about finished because I want to do a trap, which is one of my moves. But yeah, send her over.
She will approach you, and I imagine Adrian and possibly even Raven is nearby. How are these things approaching? Do we know?
I'll be right back.
Do you mean like by sea, by land?
Exactly.
Oh, I stand up for a moment and look around to orient myself, and then I'll point in the direction that, based on my triangulation, they should be coming from.
Yes, but do they fly? Are they going to be walking in the middle of the open field?
Well, I was told that somebody saw a Slender Man, and Slender Man's not well known for being a flyer. I'd imagine that they would walk, just taking big strides.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go up to the top of the tower and keep an eye out then.
Yeah, be careful. I'm gonna. Open field's kind of difficult, but maybe I've got an idea. Do you think there's a shovel around here?
Oh yeah, there's definitely a shovel somewhere.
Great. I am gonna do. It's a trap, and the idea of this trap is I want to dig holes in the ground, but keeping care to make sure the sod is relatively untouched, right? So I'm gonna dig the sod out first, then dig a hole, then put the sod back on top, in order for it to be like a little bit of a fake hole, where if you step into it, you'll twist your foot, and maybe get stuck for a second or two. Is the idea. So we'll see how well I roll. Wow, low rolls. I got a 7.
Which playbook is this in?
This is in the. It's like the Scooby-Doo
I'll pull up
one.
your character sheet.
Yeah.
We'll pull up Mary's character sheet.
It's a good thing Mary's dying in this episode.
I think everybody's dying, right?
On a hit, something does happen, but I don't get to choose an extra effect. So just keep that in mind later. I don't imagine it's immediate. Like I dig the hole and then he's there.
So on a hit, the trap is successful, but on a 10+, it's extra successful.
Yeah. So you can see what's there.
Yeah.
So
all right.
I mean, and that totally makes sense for basically a hole that may make one of them kind of trip, but they can get back up pretty quickly.
Okay. So that's going to take you a while. So you'll be spending your time doing that, but you do get your code finished on this device. I imagine. Have you seen those commercials for the like speaker that goes around your body as a strap to like also vibrate the bass into your chest so you feel it hard?
Uios or whatever.
Yeah, I imagine that you've created something similar to that. like a personal device that essentially renders you sonically invisible.
Great.
And you can totally have that activated.
Yes, great. I will. I'll have a little audio box on my hip and my fanny pack. My camera out, and I'm ready to roll. Because I like I said last time, I gave my gun away.
Yep. Yeah, you are effectively unarmed.
Mary wants not Mary. Yeah, I'm Mary. Adrian wants to go up to Chuck and Raven and ask them a question while they're working. If I recall correctly, did you not say these beings were somehow using sound as their sight or something similar? They use sound as a weapon or sound to locate people?
Was this? Are we talking about the Nephilim?
No, the mouth belly people that are coming for the tower. The ones that don't like human magic users.
You
would recall that they see through sound. They have no face, no eyes.
So basically, they're using echolocation.
Yes, at least from my dream, they had no face.
And they are solid creatures. They're not like ghosts or apparitions or something. They're going to have flesh and blood.
Seemingly solid. They seemed pretty solid.
And I'm gonna go walk back to my van.
Sweet. Evelyn and Rob, you guys both have +1 on whatever role in the future you would like to use it on.
So I've got 2 of those?
You have +1 on your first use of the shotgun to cast control.
Shotgun, okay.
Control construct. When you cast that spell for the first time, you will have +1.
Okay.
But now you have a free roaming +1 that you can just sort of toss onto whatever you want to.
Since my premonition thing is still in effect,
you just have +1 for the duration of this.
And if I manage to stop it, then I'll save that +1 for after.
I see. Cool.
So is there anything, does Chuck find anything interesting in the basement?
Why don't you roll to investigate it?
All right.
Which is plus sharp.
Sharp. Okay. That's an 11.
Well, all right. So you get 2 questions.
Okay.
Out of the investigative mystery column. I think one might be what is being concealed here in terms of like you're trying to magically determine what's going on. You distinctly remember these things being described as maws for magic. They eat magic. They seek out magical items and to bring them back, in theory, is what they used to do for the Netherese. But, you know, they also enjoy feasting on the flesh of non-human casters.
Right.
But they're not impervious to magic.
Not impervious. There are certain types of damage that they are fully immune to. You recall hot and cold, or fire and frost, whatever you want to call them. But
okay, so
if you were one of these things and you were to be attracted to any one place in this house, this is where you would start. Is the basement. I guess that's my best answer to that question for you.
Okay, so that's the answer to one of the questions.
Yes.
Okay, I guess the other, well, because I do get a free question.
You can hold on to these and ask them later if you want. Oh, yeah, one of them is...
I do get the free question of what magic was done here.
What magic was done here is a, effectively what's it called? A mage's private sanctum on steroids. It is a spell that prevents divination magic of any kind, has been tapped into the very walls of this building, acting as a sort of a conduit for the ley line beneath it, and it has created a mage's private sanctum the size of Yellowstone National Park. So that scrying any sort of divination magic cannot make its way in. That you are just now beginning to understand that that might also have the consequence of certain types of magic cast inside of this bubble might have a reverberation effect that might not be so friendly.
Okay, so now is this taking up the entire basement, or is there an area in the basement?
No, the basement is just where you feel the ley line the strongest. You will recall that all of the PVC pipes and copper pipes that you saw running throughout the house and up to the top of it, those are all part of the bones of this spell being cast.
Oh, okay. So the entire building is a sanctum,
the entire building is a magic item itself.
Okay, all right.
Which is why you suspected this is where the Tomb Tappers would go first if they want to return magic items. This is one heck of one to grab.
Curious as to how they're going to grab a house.
Not in a good way. And you can hold on to that other question and ask it later if you want. Like, when you finally see them, you could ask, like, what can hurt it, or something like that.
Was Raven down there with me?
I believe that's a yes.
Yes, I am.
So
I know I get lost because I'm small, but hi.
Don't mind me. I get lost in thought. So
That's fair.
But when these things come, stay close. Stay close to me.
All right, I can do that.
You hear Dakota shout down from above at the top of the house. So, how long are we planning on waiting for these things? Because it's been about an hour since you guys have been here, just walking around prepping.
I'm in no rush.
Fair.
They'll get here when they get here, I guess.
And we got snacks in the van.
Someone mind bringing me up something? We got some, like, beef jerky. Could someone bring me up some beef jerky?
Actually, if this place helps keep divination from happening, Raven, I would suggest not leaving the house for now.
It's not just the
Don't
house.
let them-
The entirety of Yellowstone is protected under this bubble.
Oh, all right. So they
should be
really can't. They really couldn't sense Raven, pick Raven out. Among
You don't
everything
know
else.
how their magic senses work.
Ah, well.
Not a lot of science has been done on these things, unfortunately. If it has, it's been millennia.
Is Chuck still in the basement, or has he moved up, or?
At that point, I think Chuck has come. Once he's figured out that how this whole thing works, he'll have made his way back upstairs.
So the basement checks out. Is it safe and secure, or any
As secure as
problems we
anything.
should be aware of?
Well, I mean, I guess the other thing is, there any standard ways in and out of the basement other than the way
Two ways in. You can either
there's-
drop like 10 feet through a mud
There's
shaft,
a hole in the floor up above.
or walk down the stairs that are external to the house that lead through the cellar door. You're muted, Chandler.
I think that answer to that might depend on what these things actually, what form they actually take when they get here.
I just want everybody to know that they might seek to just destroy the house from the outside. I mean, if this is the pylon, if this is the defensive tower, then who's to say they have to go inside to start tearing it apart?
Well, there's a cheery thought.
I'm just trying to be helpful. I'm sorry.
Well, no, you are, Mary. You are helpful.
So,
You just said that.
Mary,
But
as you're outside digging these holes, that's what you're doing, spending your time right now. You dig the shovel into the ground, and you feel like you hit a rock, and you sort of try and you pull the shovel back out and try and hit it at a different angle, and as you do, the shovel gets dragged down into the earth below you, and
I'll let go of it.
and a hand reaches up through the earth and presses down onto the top, and just with one arm, this massive blue shoulder begins to appear from the ground below you.
You know what's funny about me finding this? I am not going to scream in worries of overloading my sonic device. So I'm going to take a few steps away from it and then jump up and down and wave towards the house.
And then this massive hammer just slams into the ground, like literally mere inches from you, and pushes itself up out of the earth. You see this faceless head that reaches at an angle, goes straight down to its shoulders, this wide chest leading to the top of a way taller than you, and you are not used to many things being taller than you, at least 15 feet tall body that just stands there, and you see its skin just ripple and shake. And one of the unfortunate side effects of your device you've created is it makes it rather hard for you to hear a lot of the things that are going on around you as well. And so you have no idea what's going on auditorially with this thing, but you guys hear at a distance a very mild, high-pitched shrill that sort of changes in tones and pitches. And
do you guys hear something?
As you say that,
I don't mean Mary.
Adrian, the ground beneath where you're standing in the house caves in, and I need you to roll to act under pressure.
Okay, before that happens, because I haven't had an actual opening to tell you what I did.
Yes, tell me what you did in the van.
I went to the van to retrieve a crate and some very, very thin wire.
Okay.
And while Chuck was doing his basement dwelling and Mary was off doing her digging, I was laying, what do they call them? Flash grenades around the entrance to the basement and the entrance to the house and anywhere where I thought somebody might try to sneak in.
Okay.
And you know what a flash grenade is, correct?
Oh yeah, I mean it's not just light, it's loud sound too.
Yeah, it's like a concussion grenade as well, but no shrapnel.
Flashbang!
So I still have the remainder of these in my hand. So
I will say you could place 2. I'm not going to just give you a bunch of flashbangs. So you tell me, where would you have put 2 of them?
One by the basement.
Okay.
And one by the front door.
Okay.
And I still had some in my hand.
I will give you one extra one in your hand, just because I think that makes sense, but I don't want you to be like this overpowered flashbang boy.
No, I was going to hand one to everybody in the group for emergency, but
all right.
I didn't get that chance. What am I rolling?
You are rolling to act under pressure, so plus cool.
That's
10. I rolled an 8 plus 2.
That's very, very good. So you, in your battle senses have been, ready since you came into this place. You are a trained agent. You know the sights and sounds to look out for.
Yep.
But it's been rather quiet up until this point, except for the fact that when you are talking to Raven and Chuck in this moment, in between the pauses in your speech, you felt a rumbling beneath the ground that was just ever so faint enough to where it didn't feel like, occasionally there might be a minor quake of some sort to come out of Yellowstone. It felt different, it felt closer, and you instantly leap off of the spot and step away as a hammer busts through, shatters, sends splinters flying in to the ceiling above. A massive 2-3 foot wide hammerhead that looks like an ancient war maul shatters its way through the wood and pins itself into the wood next to you as this being begins to rise up from the very earth below you. And you hear in that moment the pin on your flashbang unpin from the attic or the cellar room downstairs, and a very, very loud pop goes throughout the whole house.
And a bit of a bright light as well.
A bit of a bright light. Why don't the three of you really quickly roll to act under pressure for me again? just to see how this affects you guys. It's going to be a take
Me
plus
as well, or
all 3 of you, but take +2 on the roll because it's in a entirely different room to you, but still.
All right.
With the +2, I've got an 11.
Oh wow! All right.
I have a 10.
And Adrian?
just a 13.
Oh, just a 13. All of you react to the pin coming undone, Adrian having told you the trap he laid, and you quickly pop your hands over your ears for a moment, and you see this thing react to this horrible sound. Its whole body, you see its skin like an inch tall as a ripple goes over its body, and it like ends at the top of its head as this thing just seizes up and pauses for a moment and then just continues rising up. What are you guys doing? And remember, Dakota's upstairs, but she's probably going to be making her way down rather quickly.
At the presence of this creature, Raven goes wolfy.
Oh!
So, yeah, she's gonna shift into her werewolf.
Huzzah!
And this is what Chuck has been expecting, correct?
Yes, you have had this visual in your head.
Chuck pulls the gun, the shotgun out, snaps it. Hello, goodbye.
Bang! All right, roll to use magic, and I'm also going to have, because this is how it needed to work, Raven, I also need you to roll to use magic, as you assist in the casting, the initial casting of this spell.
Which do we add to magic?
That is
it weird?
Weird.
Okay. My specialty.
It's both of your specialties, actually.
So let me ask you a question. The +1 has got to be on the first time?
On the first usage.
All right, well, in that case, with weird, that is going to be an 11.
Raven has a 16.
Oh! How? What?
Well, 6 and 6 plus 1.
Oh, you rolled double sixes.
Plus 3.
Oh gosh! Imagine failing a roll. You see Chuck slam the shells into the breaching shotgun that he has in front of him, and you grip onto the barrel and sort of assist in the casting of this spell as a puff of metallic smoke exits the barrel and a single slug embeds itself into the side of this thing, and you both can see a faint line of arcane energy tying the barrel of the shotgun to the slug that has landed in the side of this thing's head. And Chuck's eyes roll back into his head as he stands there with the shotgun pointed forward at this thing. Raven, you remember that Chuck, as long as he wants to keep concentration on the spell, is effectively inert for this combat. Mm-hmm. But Chuck is also equivalent to this thing now. So yeah. I will give you the stats of how to fight with this thing if you want when we get to that. But that is what the two of you have done currently.
All right.
Adrian, what are you doing in response?
Wait. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with Chuck. Chuck shot the shotgun shell, and then his eyes rolled into the back of his head?
Yes, Chuck has cast the spell Control Construct, and it appears to have worked.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I thought you were saying he had some kind of backlash, and he pulled an alcohol.
No, this is actually good.
Okay. Well, I wasn't sure. The description just said he rolled his eyes in the back of his head, but I didn't know why.
He's concentrating.
Okay, so I see them doing their thing. I've jumped back. I've got my battlefield awareness, whatever, so I haven't done anything stupid yet.
No.
But you said I
still
have one grenade in my hand.
You do. The thing in front of you appears to be, and you know it would be on your side.
Oh, so I know Chuck.
Chuck is controlling the one that tried to hurt you.
So yes. I don't want to hurt that one. Then okay, then I'm not going to do what I was getting ready to do, because that would have been stupid.
You do remember hearing the sound of something trip something in the basement, and
yeah, but I can't. The only way to go to the basement would be go by myself by dropping through a hole in the ground 10 feet.
Yes, or taking some time to run around the house.
No.
Which would be safer.
I'm going to bite the bullet and pop the pin on the other grenade and just drop it down that hole.
All right. Just
and
really
see if I can't get a double whammy on whatever's down there to make it either run the heck away or at least stun it enough to give us time to get down.
Okay. No need to roll anything. That just works. You pull the pin, drop the grenade down this effectively chimney, and you hear it pop again. Can I get...
No, we're all inside and Mary's still outside?
Mary's still outside and Dakota's up top. Raven and Adrian, I need you guys to again roll that plus cool for me. But actually, Adrian, you dropped the thing. You know it's going to go off. Don't worry about rolling. You're not going to be affected by this flashbang, but Raven was not prepared for it. And
it's underneath us. It's in the floor beneath us.
Yes, but still, it's still a loud noise.
Okay.
I rolled a 12.
All right. Plus you guys, I think you're just going to win this
So
fight.
it's a 13.
I shouldn't even try. All right. Mary.
Does Adrian hear Dakota coming down the stairs?
You would definitely hear Dakota rushing down the stairs.
I want to yell to her, Dakota, Mary's outside alone. And I'll let her decide whether she wants to go help.
All right, yeah. Dakota will actually take, if we look really quickly back at the external of the house, there are these staircases that lead from higher up directly down to the outside of the house. Dakota will, you hear her get over the roof going towards outside. Mary, you see Dakota exiting the house outside on the roof nearby. What are you doing as this thing is standing in front of you? Obviously has not seen or made notice of you yet.
Mary will take a piece of junk out of her bag that is a component for something she could have made, and she's going to toss it on the other side of one of those holes that she dug earlier, and then start fast walking as to not jostle her contraption too much.
Sweet.
Towards the van as quick as possible, and you can see her giving for the camera one of these to Dakota as she's walking.
Yeah, and you notice, I mean, when you throw this rock, this thing's whole body shifts and turns sort of rather quickly as more ripples go across its skin. And then it looks back up at Dakota and quickly takes a step in the direction of whatever you tossed. It steps into the hole, and it looks like the earth around the hole meets its foot. And that is not because you rolled a success on your trap. The trap is entirely ineffective against these types of monsters. This thing can obviously control the earth around it, and making a trap of mud was not the thing that would have gotten these things, but you didn't know. But it takes a step there, taps the rock that you had thrown or whatever you had thrown, and then starts making its way towards Dakota as she makes her way down the stairs. Dakota will raise her brilliant sword up into the air and sort of run and jump off the stairs toward it, trying to make a strike down on it. Who wants to control Dakota? Because I'm not legally allowed to roll dice. Anybody?
And if you did, I would sue you.
Yeah, please do. Why don't you roll for me, Chandler? Pull up her character sheet.
I'd be happy to.
Roll to kick some ass.
Yeah, sure. That sounds like fun. I do not have access to her character sheet. Is the problem?
Yeah, they're locked.
Let me really quickly. That's a good point. I will put in your.
Oh, Dominic's here.
Maybe we should have the person that's rolling sixes and lowers not roll for Dakota.
You should be able to. Hey, great. You should be able to do it now.
I can do it. I'm gonna kick some behind.
Kick some behind.
Perfect.
Channel your inner hob.
12. An advanced success according to her.
She doesn't have advanced success unlocked.
All right, then not.
Choose an extra effect.
I will do the one. Okay, so Dakota, she is a martial master with an epic weapon that didn't she describe it as a glowing blade of gold? It's a
lightsaber. It's actually just a handle that you can activate and it becomes a blade of pure sunlight.
I'm going to say that she is trying to anticipate this thing's next move and will take less harm.
Okay, sweet. And one thing that I think Hob has forgotten, that whenever you use an old-fashioned hand weapon, if anything is old-fashioned, it's this. It's the most old-fashioned of weapons. You get +1 harm, so you're automatically dealing extra harm to this thing. She slashes down with this sword made of pure sunlight, and it just dashes across this thing's chest as she remembers, oh yeah, fire damage it is fully immune to, and it just sort of dinks off of it, and she just goes, well, alright, and pulls out the pistol on her hip and starts backing up and firing at the thing, as she remembers that this thing is immune to that type of damage. It, in response to that, is going to take its hammer down hard, trying to hit her in the ankles, and it is going to deal 3 harm to her.
Is that with the 1 less?
Does she get 1? Oh yeah, so that would be 2 harm.
Okay, yeah.
Because you did an advanced move, and I don't think she has... Oh, she also has old-fashioned armor, so it's actually only 1 harm.
Good. I'm trying to keep Dakota alive while she's not here.
Yes.
Yeah, so she probably gets nicked, but is able to, like, as her feet are getting swept off from underneath her, she's able to basically pull an acrobatic move on the railing of this staircase that she's on.
And basically, I also noticed that you put Dakota from 6 to 5. She was actually at full health because she didn't get in the fight with the Faerun with you guys. So she's at 6 instead of 5, which I just corrected.
Okay, great. Wonderful, thank you.
Cool. All right, Mary, what are you doing in this moment? You are invisible to these things, but you heard 2 flashbangs go off near the cellar door in front of you.
Yeah, I'm heading to the truck.
Okay.
To the car. I helped someone calibrate weapons earlier, so I might have a good chance of using them.
Some particularly useful weapons against these things, possibly.
Thunderwave cannon, which is basically a flashbang and a concussive weapon to these things.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so that's what you're going to be doing. Let's go with Rob. What is Chuck having this thing do?
Okay, so I guess the question I have, can I even move from this room, or
can Chuck move from this room?
Well, no, I'm not clear what it is I'm able to do now that I'm in control of this thing.
So, the way I am interpreting the casting of this spell in a limited magic world is, Chuck is catatonic other than being able to stand on his own 2 feet and hold the spell. That is how powerful of a concentration you have to keep on this. But in Chuck's mind, he is seeing through this thing's quote-unquote eyes. You are this thing now. So now your vision goes black for a moment. And then suddenly, if you've ever seen any Daredevil anything, you see this pulse go out of... It's so weird to describe. You feel the room around you. You feel it through your very skin. You can feel the attic, or the attic below. God, what is wrong with me? The cellar below, and your teammate, you don't even know, down there, who is inspecting the room around, but you can see this thing, your teammate, just sort of moving around in weird ways. After 2 flashbangs, it doesn't look like it's doing well. And you can see up above, you can see Dakota on the stairs. You can see the entire house around you. You can't see Mary anymore at all. But you can see the other one standing on the ground level outside.
So I guess the question I have is, can I move this creature? You
can. Not only can you move this creature, you can move the very earth around you in any way that you see fit, up to certain, restrictions. But you can move however you want.
And I've got a hammer, right?
Yeah, big one.
Do I sense through the construct, the hammer hurt?
You want to know what the most damaging weapon you have is? You sort of shake your body around, and you feel the mouth on your stomach open, And you get the feeling that if you were to get that thing onto one of these guys, you could do some serious damage.
Well, in that case, I think I'm going to jump down the hole and...
You don't even have to jump down the hole. You swim through the earth as if it were nothing around you and land in the cellar right next to this other thing. It pays you no mind. You're one of its teammates.
Well, then I'm going to do the, thing it probably wasn't expecting, and I'm going to give it a big hug.
Great. Roll to kick some ass. But instead of using your tough, you are going to be using your weird for this roll.
All right.
Roll to hug.
Roll for hug.
That's a Mike Disney move.
So
Snugs and hugs.
With weird, that's an 11. Is there any benefit to using the one roaming thing I have making it a 12?
No, because you do not have advanced. You have not advanced that move. But with the 10 plus, you do get the ability to suffer less harm because they are going to hurt each other. You can force it where you want it.
Wait, no, but I had the roaming one.
I know a 12 will not benefit you greater than an 11 will. Is what I'm trying to say. So you can either give advantage, aka +1 to another hunter, or itself. You can inflict more harm, make this thing take less harm, or force the other one where you want it.
Oh, well, I want to inflict more harm.
Yeah, that feels like the obvious choice. So this thing opens its mouth and just clamps down on the other one's thigh and begins, the teeth just turn in place and just grind into the very stone of this thing. And you can feel it's not as effective as it should be. Even these things have a hard time killing each other. They have natural stony armored skin. But even still, you deal 6 harm with this single attack against this other thing. Armor reducing, of course, but I felt like you should know just how bad you done did this fight.
Nom 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 nom. What?
Yep, and the other one takes a hammer. Your guy takes a hammer blow to the chest. And we will go to Raven. What are you doing?
Can I see the creature that Chuck is controlling and the one that he's attacking?
Not anymore.
From where I am?
No.
Can I get to a place where I can see
You
them?
could. You would have to go down the chute that leads to the cellar. Or run around the outside of the house. And because you're so quick, I would say you could probably do that as just this round of combat or whatever.
Well, I don't want to leave Chuck by himself because he's unprotected. If
Excuse
I do
me?
that.
Excuse me?
Are you still in the room? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Okay,
right
I
next to
didn't
you
know
in
that.
this room too.
Well, I promised Chuck I'd stay beside him.
It's okay, I'm used to
So-
women ignoring me.
Oh.
I'm sorry. Trying to keep track of everything, it's really hard. Alright, so what I'm gonna do then is I am going to I don't know what
If
I'm
you want,
gonna
I
do.
can
This
come
is
back
a
to you
good
while you think
question.
about it.
Yeah, come back to me.
Adrian, what are you doing?
That just changes things.
I'm not sure what I can do. The main adversary I saw was just vanished. I don't even know where it went. I just know it disappeared.
You, with your battle awareness I will give you, you can see this other one standing outside.
What other one?
So there are
There's the
3
third
total.
one?
2 of them are brawling in the cellar below, and one of them emerged right next
oh,
to
that's
Mary.
right. They went out by Mary. Yeah. I'm gonna start heading outside
Okay.
because I'm going to try to get to the van.
Okay.
For
You actually see
reasons.
Mary bolting toward the van. Not bolting, doing the heel toe, heel toe, heel toe fast walk.
Yeah, the Mary shuffle.
The Mary shuffle toward the van. You can get to a point where you could pop a shot off on this thing and still make your way toward the van.
Pop a shot off with what? My gun?
Your gun.
I'm not sure how effective that would be, but I'll give anything a try. You said it's got a wide open mouth in its belly.
It does.
I mean, I'm gonna go for the squishiest part
All right.
I can see.
Roll to kick some ass.
Hang on. What's that? It's advanced. Plus tough. And
I don't think any of you
+2
guys
on
have
plus
advanced
tough, so
moves yet.
That's an 11 total.
11.
No,
So, what are you adding on to it, and then how much harm do you deal? Oh, just by the way, I don't think I showed you guys a picture of what these things look like.
11 was total with my plus. That was with my +2. I rolled a 9.
You see
2
this.
tough.
This horrifying being.
And my 9mm does 2 harm.
2 harm, so you're...
And it's close, and it's loud.
Yeah.
So
this
the
thing
noise
instantly
hopefully
turns... Were you increasing the damage at all? Sorry, I missed that.
I increase it with what? My gun?
No, on your 10 plus, what are you adding as an extra effect? You can take less harm from its retaliation. You can deal more harm.
I scrolled up. I was just looking up what I needed to roll plus stuff. Yeah, because he's not really harming me because I'm running past him. It's kind of like an attack of opportunity.
Well, he's going to harm you no matter what. It's just how the move works. Mm-hmm. I'm going to have to narratively come up with how that works, but...
Okay, I'm going to inflict terrible harm plus
right.
1.
You get the feeling that if you didn't do that, you would not have hurt this thing at all. Yeah. Your shot just barely rings through, piercing its skin just slightly. And it turns its hammer in sort of a downward thrusting motion, and it brings it up, and a wall of earth appears behind you that you were not expecting, and you slam the side of your head into it. You don't take enough harm. Yeah, you don't take enough harm for it to go through your armor, but there is now a wall of earth between you and the van that just breaks in to the woodwork of the house.
Rude.
And it is well too tall for you to vault.
And I'm gonna yell to Mary through around the wall or through the wall or whatever. Mary, get to the van.
Alrighty. Mary, what you doing?
Muted.
Oh yeah, you are muted.
Muted, Mary. No, we can read that word.
Thank you. Yeah. So I will rush into this van, rip open the door, not literally, not from its hinges, but rip it open, and immediately launch into one of the consoles that I saw Adrian activating the Thunderwave cannons from earlier.
You have training.
You have training. There's no need for you to roll anything for this. You tell me what you do with the van. You know how to drive it. It is not in an optimal position currently to attack.
But there is a great way to put it in an optimal position,
which is
the hydraulics.
Absolutely. So
yeah.
These 4 arms slam down at the edges of the van, and a main pillar in the bottom of it digs itself into the earth below, and you feel it rise up a couple of inches as you now have 360 control over the van.
Great. I'm wanting to hopefully shoot this monster. If it takes a minute to basically calibrate and get
no,
targeted,
this is a weapon of its own creation. Roll.
Wonderful.
Roll a kick some butt.
I already calibrated it. Remember?
That's right. We did.
I will say that you can.
Everything's ready to roll.
In this specific circumstance, Chandler, I will let you use your sharp instead of your tough.
Ah, wonderful. That's what I love to hear. Kick some butt.
Take that butt and kick it.
You can slightly hear Adrian going, "Use the thunder, bring the thunder."
What'd you roll?
I rolled a 5.
Okay.
Which is
suck.
With a +3 means I rolled double ones.
So you kind of inch the car. You do have to move the car a little bit to get it into a more optimal position to get an angle on this thing. Because if you remember, it put a wall between Adrian and the van, and that wall between itself and the van also.
Yeah.
And so you kind of you wheel it around and then set it up, and as you are turning, you accidentally hit the fire button and blast straight at the wall and Adrian in your excitement, which does shatter the wall. But Adrian, I need you to roll to act under pressure to not just fly into the house.
No. I'm fine.
What'd you roll?
9 plus 2, 11.
All right. You saw the van moving. You were ready for this. You brace yourself up against the backside of part of the wall. And it's not because you prepared yourself. It's not going to deal enough damage for anything to happen. But this massive beast trudges its way straight forward to the van, rears up its hammer, and brings it straight down on the engine block. For it has not made its way through the thick armored steel of the top of the hood yet, but a couple more hits and you're not going to have a workable engine anymore, and this thing is going to be stuck in place. That's not to say that the battery can't allow you to move the turret a bit more, but that's where you're at right now. Raven, what are you doing?
All right. So can I now see where Adrian went after?
Absolutely, yeah. You hear all this going on outside.
Fabulous. So she's just gonna shift until the point where she can see the creature. Just
the one outside.
She doesn't want to go outside.
Yeah.
She's not going outside. She just wants to see the creature. And she's going to use Jinx.
Oh gosh, what does that do?
Yes. So I can encourage coincidences to occur the way you want. So yes, it's a roll plus weird. And then we'll see what happens after I do that.
That's a spooky move, correct?
It is a spooky move, I believe, yes. It's in the same one as the premonitions. Which I believe is spooky.
Okay, yeah.
The spooky. Okay, so I'm gonna roll it. And I rolled, let's see, plus weird. That is a 8. It's an 8.
So you get to hold one.
Okay.
And you do not necessarily have to use these yet, but I imagine you want to.
I am, and I'm going to give Adrian a +1. I'm going to try to interfere with the creature outside. She's going to she's had this .38 revolver in her pocket the entire time that she's never pulled out before, and she's going to pull it out and fire it because it's loud to try to pull the creature's attention toward the house to give Adrian a +1 forward.
Okay, sweet. As you fire it, you see the whole thing, its body ripples, and you see its thumbs move from one side of its hand to the other, and it is just now facing the other direction. And it readjusts the hammer and turns toward the house. Adrian, you effectively have this thing flanked now, giving you that +1 on your next roll. Rob, what are you doing? What you see occurring below in the cellar, the other tomb tapper, in response to seeing its friend, quote unquote, attack it, you see its entire body, it touches onto the walls around it, and its head sort of swivels around, and then you see it lock its head on your body standing above, just a floor above, and it begins reaching its arm through to try and reach for Chuck's foot. What is you, as the other tomb tapper, doing in response to this?
Biting the arm.
Biting the arm. All right. Roll it. Roll plus your weird.
That is 10.
10. That is what you needed, because I'm just going to say you're probably going to want to go with you force them where you want them as the additional advantage that you add on with your 10 plus.
Okay.
Otherwise, this thing is going to wholeheartedly grab Chuck's foot and do something you do not want this thing to do. So you bite onto this thing's arm and drag it back down to stomach level, and it does not like that, and it just bites your arm back too, and now you both have the other one's arms in the other one's mouths, and you're effectively pinning each other right now, dealing good chunks of damage to each other in the process.
Good.
All
damage.
right, yeah, love damage. Dakota is going to pull from her back a crossbow, which she has, and she looks significantly more confident with than any gun she's ever held in her hands, and will aim a shot trying to pink it off of the backside of this thing, picking up on what Raven was doing, potentially trying to keep this thing just turning back and forth, bringing its attention to other people, trying to play against its own senses. And she will take a shot at it. Evelyn, why don't you roll the 2d6 for me?
Alright, I will do that.
And whatever you roll, just add 1.
Add 1? Okay. That is a 9.
A 9, which did you add 1 to the 9?
What? 10.
10. All right. So with a 10, Dakota's going to choose to put the monster where she wants it, doing that effective noise-bouncing maneuver, but the crossbow does nothing to it. It scatters off of its hide. But this thing just begins turning furiously back and forth, and in its frustration, it raises a pillar of earth through the stairs she was standing on and knocks her at least another story into the air above it. And Dakota comes falling face down onto the earth, her crossbow scattering away from her as she takes a 3 harm hit, hitting the earth, which is reduced down to 2 with her armor. She's not quite unstable yet, but she definitely looks stunned by that hit. Let's bring it to Mary.
Seeing that Mary missed and is worried about hitting her friend again, I think she will perhaps. I mean, can I just kick butt again, or is the idea to try and vary it? Okay,
no.
Then I'll...
Because you are the van now, is the idea, right?
I am the van. Yeah, the other option was to maybe help out, or not help out. There's something in here. I'll tell you later.
Okay.
Because I could maybe make a distraction, but you know what I really need to do is just hit this thing.
Yep, I'm into that.
Hit it. Mm-hmm. Let's do better. 12. That's much better.
That is significantly better.
Adrian likes that.
Yep.
Yeah.
What are you? What extra effect are you adding on top of this? More harm, less harm to the van. Force them where you want them. Give advantage to another hunter or yourself.
I will. I'm gonna give a forward to. So Adrian and Dakota are right next to this thing, right?
Dakota is not. She
Dakota's
is
by the house.
Yeah, she's about 6-7 feet up on the stairs, right next to the house.
Okay, but Adrian is. So I'm gonna give Adrian a +1 as the thunder cannon basically just disorients the monster and makes it kind of shriek into the air as it's just kind of like you can see its flesh almost like when you put your hands underneath a what's called a blow dryer, a really powerful blow dryer, and it's just rippling. That's what's going on the back of this thing.
Yeah, absolutely. You're exactly right. Its whole body just shudders in response, and it gets the hammer down one more time on the engine block of this van before just flying backwards like 4 or 5 feet. This thing's huge, so it's not hit as hard as these thunder cannons can probably pump out, but it does a significant bit of damage to this thing as you see one of its fingers just flies off and turns into solid stone like a statue on the ground as it exits its body.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right. Adrian, you have +2 on your next roll due to help from other hunters.
I'm not sure if this is something I should do or can do on top of my action. I want to try to read a bad situation
Totally.
first.
I think that you can do that.
Is that my turn? Or
no,
would that
I will not
just...
make that your
okay.
turn.
Okay.
We shall see what you get from it.
My tactical genius, I think it was, not my battlefield tactical genius. When I read a bad situation, I may roll plus cool instead of plus sharp.
Of course, because you're the coolest character.
My sharp is 0. Well, no, but my sharp is 0.
Evelyn just, yes,
2.
correct.
Let's see. And you said I've got. Is the +2 for my move, or that doesn't count on my reading a bad situation?
So, the +2 forward, I will say, will be on whatever attack you make against it. It doesn't necessarily make sense for it to be on this read a bad situation roll.
Then I only got a 7 on my read a bad situation.
So you get to ask one question.
Okay, the one question I really want to ask is what's most vulnerable to me? And I'm assuming that means what can I do the most damage to?
That feels like a more investigative mystery question than read a bad situation, because read a bad situation is more about protecting things that are on your side.
It's under the
I know.
read a bad
Most vulnerable
situation
to
list.
me would be like, what about you and your side of this battlefield could most easily break down in this fight? That's what that means to me.
Okay, well then what's the best way to protect the victims?
As
Going
far
to the
as
van
you are
and
aware,
trying to take over the cannon, or keep attacking with a useless pistol. Well, no, actually, I got my sniper rifle on my back.
you
too.
also
I
have
could
a
try
magical
sniper rifle
knife, and that could be useful too.
No, it eats magic, and you said it's a frost weapon, so.
Well, it only deals
Hot and
frost
cold.
damage if you cast Ray of Frost from it. Otherwise, it's just a magical weapon. But what I will say is, as long as the other two are not to be seen or heard from and are not causing issues, focusing this one as a group appears to be your best method right now. You guys have pinned this thing between all of you. Staying as close to it as you currently are might not be smart, because you are literally 3-4 feet from easily within its arm's reach. But
Hey, I thought it turned toward the house when Raven attacked it.
it did, but you've got it unawares right now. It has forgotten about you, so that's why you have that +2.
But Mary just shot it with the thunder cannon.
Yes, it's been
Wouldn't it have
distracted.
wouldn't it have turned around again, looking right at me?
Not at you. No, you are sort of at its side.
But I'm between it and the van, right? Or
No.
it's between me and the van.
It is adjacent to you in the van, is what I will say.
Oh, so we're side by side.
You're about side by side, yeah.
I guess screaming like a little girl is probably not the best course of action.
Probably not.
I really don't know what to do because the gun's already proven useless. And
Not an easy fight.
The dagger, I realize that, but the dagger's because it's just magical.
Well, I mean, your intuition with the sniper rifle being your highest damage weapon.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be more powerful than the gun.
That could potentially prove useful.
Yeah. Well, so I can see the mouth, right?
Yes.
Was it next to me?
Oh, yeah.
Because that's what I wanted to try to shoot for last time. You said all I did was hit it in the shoulder.
Well, it's combat.
Right.
It's not going to be as clean as you're hoping for it to be.
Well, if I roll a 12, it will.
Well, if I roll a 12, I can do whatever I want.
Let's see.
What do you do?
I'll be kicking some ass.
All right. Go ahead and roll that.
And I'm going to be using the sniper rifle.
All right.
Hang on, I'm trying to find that. Okay, tough. And my tough is...
So you're not going to like me.
Oh,
I'm
my
going to
tough
give
is
you a
-2.
situational -1 for using the sniper rifle because you are using what's effectively a long-range weapon in melee combat. But you do have that +2 coming from your friends having distracted this thing, which nets you a +1.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm hoping I get close to a 12. Hopefully. That 3 wasn't very helpful, but hopefully that's out of my system.
God, I hope you fail so bad.
Yeah, but... In your FACE, mister. That's an 11. +2 for my tough. +2 going forward. So that's a
15. -1. Well, it's you don't get the 12 because you haven't advanced that move, but it is still a total success.
What do you
which
mean I don't get the 12?
there
I rolled an 11.
Yes. No, there's so advanced moves on a 12+, you can add extra effects.
I wasn't going for the advanced moves. The 12 means I get to shoot it in the mouth this time. plus all the other 2.
Is that what that means?
+2 for tough and my +2 that they gave me.
Which extra effect are you adding on? Extra harm? You
as
suffer
much
less.
damage as possible.
All right,
As
I
much
like that.
damage
I
as
like that
possible.
a lot. You do. It is unaware. You take the sniper rifle and stick it in its mouth, the barrel of it. This 50 caliber sniper rifle that you have, and you, in the not correct way to hold this gun,
I got this. I got this. I stick the barrel of my sniper rifle right down this thing's freaking throat. I look it square in its eye. No, it doesn't have an eye. Never mind. I
Square in
look
its
down
mouth.
throat. Yeah, it looks square in its mouth. I pull the trigger, and I say, "I bring the boom," and I pull the trigger.
And as you do, the gun flies out of your hands, scattering to the ground at your feet, because it's a massive kickback weapon. But this shot, you see it exit through its back as the shot just pierces through this thing's skin, sending bits of what look like chunks of flesh that the moment they leave this thing's body just turn into solid rock and hit the ground around you. And
I take offense at dropping my weapon. I'm a trained specialist. Master.
Well, it's okay. A trained specialist is not meant to use a 50 caliber Barrett in close proximity range, but it now has a pierced open hole in it, which I will say has permanently reduced its armor for your allies. And it is looking right at you as it picks you up by the throat with its hand in response to this and just slams you down to the earth, and the two of them begin sinking into the ground before you guys. You take 3 harm.
-2.
-2, so 1 harm as it bashes your skull into the hard rock below, and you feel the dirt around you get up over your ears as it is pushing you down into the
I have
earth.
a card. I have a club card membership to the Hard Rock. Is that no?
I swear, Pat, I will give you more minuses if you test me. All right, let's see what good old Chuck is doing.
What else do I need
This
to
other
do?
one is not relenting. It is going... Actually, it just does this. The earth beneath Chuck's feet, gives in, and the rickety old wood begins to rot beneath his feet, and Raven, your ears twitch backwards as you hear the wood beginning to crack and move, and Chuck just starts to fall. Raven, what are you doing in response to this?
Raven's immediately moving to try to keep Chuck from going
Okay,
down.
roll to protect someone.
Okay.
A move we don't use very
What
often.
do I add?
Protect someone.
To protect someone?
Yes. Is plus tough.
Plus tough? Okay. Ooh, that's... Okay, but I still have my +1.
See, you rely on your weird to do things most of the time, but this is just your
Yes,
physicality.
I mean, I'm really strong. Hey, whoa! I rolled 2 5s.
Oh my gosh, you guys!
I love it.
Which is 10 plus for you. So you also get to choose an extra effect. You suffer little harm. All impending danger is now focused on you. You inflict harm on the enemy, or you hold the enemy back.
I know what she's choosing.
Impending danger is not focused on Raven.
Yeah, so you just sort of stomp your feet and shout as you dive to catch him,
No,
and
she
then
didn't shout.
or
You
growl loudly. You let out a howl, and as you do, you just sort of body check Chuck off to the side, and you just dive into the pit below, and you are now stood in front of 2 tomb tappers that are just holding each other's arms in their maws. And Chuck, what are you doing with your tomb tapper? Your body is okay for the moment.
So I'm still biting on the arm.
Yes, so you can't use your maw again, but your claw or hammer is available for beatings.
So the claw is what? Its head?
Your hand.
Your hand.
And oh well, I think I'm gonna try to make its maw a little wider.
Want to know how I got these scars?
Oh, no.
Shove it in and rip.
Oh, all right. Roll plus your weird. Oh man, it's so rough. It's a monster. Who cares?
It's an 11 on the die.
God, what the heck, you guys? You're supposed to be like gaining experience, learning from your failures.
The
Apparently
adrenaline is
I
seeping
did all
into
the
our
learning.
dice.
Apparently, I did all the learning I needed to leading up to this, and here we are.
I'll say this:
Hey,
you can donate
Thomas, it's your
200
own
bits
fault.
to give -1s if you want.
Thomas, it's your own fault. You said we had plenty of time to prepare.
Yeah, it's all
Sean
my
doesn't
fault.
allow disadvantages anymore.
Well,
Jeez, Thomas.
my evil side comes out. All right.
Listen, Don't make me start buying bits.
You rip into this thing's mouth, and I will grant a similar effect to what Pat did to the other one. You also reduce this one's armor. And Raven, you see some wounded openings that you can easily dig your claws into if you need to. And it, in response, is...
Can't she bypass armor normally?
I think she can.
Actually. Yeah, I'm adding more armor to my base.
And I'm gonna tell you what, Rob. It's gonna do the same thing back. It is trying to rip its arm out of the other one's maw, and it successfully does. It frees itself from it, in doing so kind of widening your own mouth a bit more than it probably should, overextending your jaw, kind of ripping at the edges.
Robert, because it's not your body and you can't feel it.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, it's like I don't care. Please.
No, you actually you feel no pain.
Less we have to kill later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a genius move, turning them against each other. Dakota is feeling fairly useless with her current weapon. She's going to reload her crossbow and aim and take another shot at this thing, trying to...
No, she's not.
What do you mean?
You said her crossbow scattered across the ground.
Oh, you're right, and she's face down on the ground. Oh, what does Dakota do then? I guess that she...
Hear us on heartily.
She shouts... You know what she's going to do? She's going to shout to Adrian, and she says, "The Trident!" Kind of hoping for you to toss it her way.
I was going to like, I'm not using that damn thing.
Do you do so? Do you give it a toss?
I pull it out of my dagger sheath, flip it around, catch it by its blade, and just pulling it up towards so it's like spinning sideways.
And because it's a cool TV show, she grabs it midair and in one fell swoop spins it and presses the button on its hilt as it turns into a trident as she comes off of the roof. Arms forward, trying to drive this thing down into the dirt. Adrian, Pat, why don't you roll 2d6 for me? Let's see how good Dakota does. You have to roll less than a 7.
What is she rolling?
It's plus tough, which is plus 1.
Okay, that's a 9.
A 9, a mixed success. Does anyone want to help out? I don't know if Raven makes sense.
I will, because I want to try and shoot.
Yeah, Adrian can't, because Adrian's underground. Actually, I probably couldn't even throw her the trident.
No, you could easily have done that with your free hand, but you are certainly going down into the earth after this.
I am happy to help out with the car. I'm trying to think, what's the best way? How far are they from the car?
Like 10 feet.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna bump it.
Sweet. You roll 2d6.
Okay.
And add your cool.
So helping out.
Yes.
Let's see here. All right, 8.
With an 8.
Mm-hmm.
The engine block of this car has begun being broken. You feel only half of the cylinders sputter to life in the engine, but it is just enough juice for you to, at the very least, scoot this thing forward. You are now off of the pedestal you have set this thing on, and you have sort of tipped the car forward into this thing's back legs, and it sort of stumbles for a moment, and it is now sort of on its knees, leaned over Adrian. As Adrian, you see through the back, through that hole you created, a trident mere inches from your stomach emerges from the open mouth of this thing leaned over in front of you. And Dakota is now on its back, riding this thing with a trident jammed through it. It sort of gives her an elbow pop up in response, and she takes 2 harm. Which I don't think I can keep track of it. So 1 more harm. She instantly, you see Dakota, like, she gets a concussion from that, and blood starts pouring out of the ear that it just hit. As she is now woozy on top of this thing. She is now unstable for anyone that cares to know.
Is she anywhere near me?
She is on the... So it's you laying flat on the earth, Tomb Tapper,
reach
and then
her?
Dakota on the other side.
But I can't reach her.
You can't reach her.
Is what
This
I'm
thing's
saying.
got you pinned currently. But
So I can't lay on hands.
what are you doing in response to this thing forcing you down to the... Actually, let's have Mary go. What is Mary doing? I imagine, are you going to try and thunder cannon this thing, or you've got basically two allies and one enemy in range?
Actually, that wouldn't be bad because he's got a hole in his backside now.
Yeah, I think a thunder cannon would be good. So I'll do that.
Sweet.
We're kicking a lot of butt today.
Yeah.
So
Do you want me
suddenly
to-
Adrian's very nervous.
Now, here's my question to you. Since I don't have the benefit of being on the platform and having a little bit more time and space to aim, do you still want me to use sharp, or do you want me to maybe switch to cool?
I think instead of using cool, I'm just going to give you a situational -1.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because I think it's still an intelligence for you to manipulate the computers and the things in front of you.
Okay, so all right, sharp -1.
And remember, Evelyn and Robert, you guys both still have that free roaming +1.
Oh yeah.
Great.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
I managed a 10.
Sweet. Okay, so what are you taking as your bonus with that 10? Because remember, you have 2 allies easily within range of this weapon as well.
Yeah.
And your friend is pinned down onto the earth on top of this thing, or with this thing on top of him, and is potentially going to be suffocated into the earth after this.
Yeah, I'm going to by keeping my foot on the pedal, and reeling the wheel to spin it a little bit. I'm going to hit the fire button to move it off of Adrian.
Okay, so you're wanting to force them where you want them.
Yes.
Sweet. So yeah, I mean, you are essentially point blanking this thing with one of the cannons. Dakota is going to go flying with it, but it does pop off, and you see it hits one of the posts of the house, and part of the covering just caves in over the rot of years that this thing has had.
Oh no!
And you do see
ugly house anyway.
Did I do that?
You do see a couple of copper pipes break and move free, and Raven, you feel kind of that energy around you shift for a moment, and you feel the spell just kind of for just half a second of the sphere around you just sort of give for half a moment and then come back up. And you look up and you see kind of dirt fall from above you.
In that moment, Raven is going to shout out, "Hey, be more careful!"
Away from the house. But Adrian, this thing is no longer on top of you, and you're in a couple of inches worth of dirt that you can easily get yourself out of. What are you doing now?
I'm going to try to get to Dakota and lay on hands.
Sweet.
See if I can't heal her.
All right. Yeah, Dakota kind of took the trident with her and scattered off, sort of rolling on the ground, landed on her knees, and sort of gets back up onto her feet as this thing readies itself. It does one of those weird, like, its whole body stands up, but it did it on 2 flat feet on the earth, with its hammer just pressed up against the ground to get it up, like it wasn't even a problem for it to stand. It's probably plus cool, right?
Disappeared. I don't know. It disappeared again.
Oh, I think it's in the Divine playbook.
Well, I know, but you said there was something.
Did you make it disappear? Did you do a bad?
No, I haven't.
No, lay on hands is at the top. Your touch can heal any injury or disease when you lay on hand. When you lay your hands on someone hurt. Roll plus cool.
I thought it was at the bottom. All right. Plus cool. That's good. Cool is good.
He's the coolest character.
That is a 9.
Evelyn every time. That's a 9. So you can heal the harm, but you take it into yourself. You know what I'm gonna say?
That's good because I've only got 1 arm so far.
I will say this though. Dakota is magically aware as well. and she is going to sort of see what you're trying to do and plant her hands onto yours, attempting to help out with this. Why don't you roll 2d6 for her? And add, what is Dakota's cool?
It doesn't matter. I rolled a 12.
Oh, God, you gotta stop. I need to... Can I have your dice? They'd be really good for some fireballs.
I'm just going to say this. If you've got 30-something plus year old dice that have been simmering in a bag...
They're very weighted. Is that what it is?
Dice, you might have a slight advantage.
It's all the sediment, right? So she pumps her whatever divine energy was given to her by Mystra into... And you both are sort of grabbing onto this divine symbol of Mystra on her chest, and you heal the 2 harm and stabilize her, which is huge because she was not looking good. All right. Raven and Chuck, you both are down there.
Uh-huh.
What you doing?
So, exactly how
What you doing, Brian?
wide... How much wider did I make his maw?
Actually, what I will say, Chuck, because this is fun. Roll plus cool, but take +1 because Raven has gentle shoulders. Like the Hulk catching Iron Man out of the sky. I'm going to see if you can keep your concentration on this spell. Because you did get jolted, despite, all best intentions.
She's also got fuzzy shoulders.
Please.
I'm really upset because, I didn't want to waste another double 6 on that.
No!
Yes!
I wanted it for the next thing I was going to try.
Oh my gosh. Alright, now you're fine. Do whatever you want.
Don't worry, Chuck. You still have luck.
It's fine, just trying to tell an entertaining story. Y'all are just killing my monsters. Just making short work of them.
We are limited on time.
But
So.
we're doing it in a very entertaining fashion.
We are monster hunters.
You are monster hunters. These two look like they're
monster hunters.
Yeah. These two look like they are ready to rip each other's arms out of their sockets. They're not looking great.
No, that's not what I have in mind here, though. So how much wider did I make its mouth?
Enough. You tell me. What are you trying to do?
My idea is to put one hand on the bottom jaw, one hand on the top jaw, and...
Okay, I'm very interested in this as being sort of a coup de grace thing that potentially even Raven assists with, because I think her mind was already in that headspace. Can the two of you roll your attack? And I think both of you are using your weird for this.
Yeah,
I think both Raven and Evie are drooling just a little too much.
She's like ripping someone's head in half.
My unholy strength is plus weird instead of plus tough,
Yep.
so.
Oh yeah, you're very strong. And Chuck, being focused on his spell, is using his weird to focus.
Oh.
No, you didn't. God, you guys.
That's a 13.
No.
That's a 13.
That's a total failure. I've decided I'm actually
That's a
flipping. It's
13.
golf rules, right?
No.
So.
No.
So that's an 11. And,
Oh God!
Yeah. Listen, I bumped up my weird, so that helps.
So, the both of you, what extra effects are you adding onto this? I imagine it's inflict terrible harm.
Yes, absolutely.
You both reach in at the same time, clawed hands into this thing's maw, because it's not a sideways maw, right? It opens. You're essentially attempting to rip this thing in half horizontally, right? And you both reach hands in and begin.
My thought for Raven is actually,
yes, please.
While Chuck has controlling the creature to pull it vertically, she's actually digging her claws in backwards
to sort of
like from behind.
weaken it. Oh God!
They're
All right.
They're making a predator mouth out of it.
God,
Oh.
it's horrible.
Oh no. And as you guys do this, you feel its tendons of whatever is holding this together are strong as steel, and you rip through it like you're tearing away at an iron chain that just bends until it suddenly shears and snaps, and this thing just breaks in half in one go, and as you do, your claws were dug into it, and where your claws were dug in, you feel the sort of weirdly muddy flesh of this thing just turn rock solid around your hands as it just hits the ground and turns into crumbles as parts of it were not meant to sit like a statue would, and it just turns into just pieces on the ground below you.
And they hear from the outside Adrian yelling, "Make a wish!"
And yeah, who got the bigger part of the wishbone is a good question. And Raven, you look up at this just stoic thing, and I imagine, Chuck, you have it just give a subtle nod to Raven. With no facial expression, yeah.
High five the controlled creature.
Yeah,
like...
you fist bump or whatever you guys do.
Is Chuck just gonna stand there so Raven can finish him off too, or?
I mean, there's still one other upstairs to deal with, but. All right, that was extreme in all regards. Let's see, Dakota, newly renewed by Adrian's touch, is going to rush forward with her trident and try and pierce through this thing's back. She wants to try and like set it off balance, setting its maw face forward onto the ground. Why not? Let's have a Chandler. Can you roll 2d6 for me?
Oh, I would love to.
Would you?
Plus or minus?
+1.
Great. I'll use this, even though it's not technically tough. That's the way. I'm sorry, Thomas. If you expected me to roll low, you're wrong.
God!
It was an 11.
You guys!
1 makes it a 12.
I'm sorry.
So she pierces through this thing's back, and there is quite a wide wound on this thing's back at this point. Whatever armor it has, if you're going for its wound, is effectively null. And just uses leverage to force this thing down onto its stomach, and she now stands on its back, and it just rotates again like it did earlier, with its maw just sort of turns around and is facing the trident and begins sort of crunching down on the trident, and it just brings a fist up with its hammer and conks her across the side of the head. And
I just healed that. Yeah,
you did, and he hits the same ear, and you see the ear now just sort of crumble in against the side of her head, and she falls off of it, and it begins bleeding even more profusely now. She's unstable again, and this time it does not look good. But, God, could you imagine if I killed Hobbs' character while she's not here?
Yeah, you're not going to, because I still got Battlefield
medicine, yeah.
Yeah. But am I anywhere near the front door where I laid that first flashbang charge?
You are. You're right next to it. You are right next to it.
I want to grab that, and while its maw is open in front of me, and just drop it right into the maw.
Oh, I like that. Okay. I'm going to ask you to do something you're terribly, terribly good at. No. Act under pressure.
Act under pressure.
Which is plus cool for you.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say.
Why are you playing to your strengths? Stop. Make bad decisions, please.
You want me to use my bad dice?
You don't have bad dice.
That is a... What is it again?
Plus cool.
What? Cool. It's a 9.
Oh, come on. Only a mixed success? Alright, so... On a mixed success, this flashbang, which is... I mean, you're going to have to get right up next to this thing and pull the pin and
hold... I plan on laying on top. I plan on doing a Steve Rogers.
You're not only doing that, you are... Yeah, you're holding this thing, your hand in this thing's maw with the flashbang to ensure that it really gets in there. It clamps down and breaks both bones in your arm instantly. And you let go in just sort of natural response to that as the flashbang just pops, and you see not bones, but like this miasma of magical something going through this thing, like X-rays of light exit through its skin, and you can see what are effectively its
Emperor
bones.
Palpatine skeleton?
Yeah, you electrify skeleton this thing. and it just burps up your arm in response, and you just see it like shaking on the ground, just unable to move. Mary, what are you doing?
Finish him.
I suppose what I will do. It's on the ground now.
It is.
I will, with my big Firbolg foot, hit the pedal to the metal, because this engine is chugging, to bring this big wheel over top of its torso.
Sweet. All right, roll to act under pressure.
I love that. I'm great at that.
Why
It's
do
a
you say things
4.
like that?
Yes! Yes! All right. So I had already stated previously that this thing, it sits on sort of a pneumatic pedestal, right? Mm-hmm. And as you tip the car forward using its engine, it dives in an angle that you were not expecting as one of the feet gives into the mud below, and it goes straight onto Adrian's head. The car comes down right onto his head, and Adrian, you take 4 harm. You also took 3 earlier from this thing's munching down on your arm. But with your armor and awesomeness. Oh wait, sorry. Did I misspeak? The Maw deals 5 harm. So you take 9 harm total on 2 different attacks. So -4. So you take 5 harm to your health. As this car angles forward right down onto your head. How you doing, Adrian?
I'm fine.
You're still up? Ah! I swear.
I've had better days.
Have you? I don't think
you probably looks a little better than me right now. But I give a weak, feeble smile and a little shake.
Yeah, your right eye socket has caved in around you, and you are This Adrian is not looking good. Raven and Chuck, what are you guys doing?
Well, Raven's gonna look up at the creature, hoping that Chuck can hear her through it, and she's gonna say, what if we take this thing outside and see if we can help the others?
Okay. Well, I'm assuming the creature can hear that?
Yeah, yeah. Really good. It can hear it very well.
So, the creature is going to take the expressway.
Yeah, you just reach your hand up through the earth and you're there.
Mm-hmm. And go find the other one.
You guys are on sort of a 90-degree other side of the house, but you know exactly where it is. You have felt all of this happening. You can see a perfect image of the other side of the house. And so you make your way around and you see this gruesome image of Adrian's head, like, bloody, coming off.
Can Raven kind of speed run after that thing to join
Absolutely.
the others?
It doesn't matter which route you take, whether you go back up through the hole that was created, whether you go out through the cellar door stairs. Raven can get there because she's very fast.
Yeah, so she's going to do that.
Okay, and you also see this Adrian on the ground with a car resting on his head. You get the feeling that if the car stays there, you see Adrian's chest rise and fall once or twice, but you don't want that car on top of him.
No, can I help him?
Yes.
Can I guess use my strength?
Yeah, so roll plus weird because you're unholy strength or whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
And while she's rolling, am I able to go and just like pound the disabled one into oblivion?
Yeah, roll plus your weird.
That's a 4 and a 5. Plus 3 plus 1.
Evelyn, how dare you do to me what I did to you? All right. After the Alcott and and Markov session, I messaged Evelyn. I was like, so I got bad news. Alcott died. He got better though. Anyways, you run up and stick both of your claws at the edges around Adrian's head, and like a mother raising a car off of her baby, you throw this thing backwards, easily off of Adrian.
Like a puppy fighting a bear.
Yeah, right, which has happened before. And Mary, you are knocked out of the seat and fall to the ground as you are not expecting the car to make this move.
I'm great with that.
And you take 4 harm.
700 harm and die instantly. I have to kill someone.
Yeah, it tips over.
All right, Rob, what'd you roll?
10.
God. All right, don't even worry about it.
It wasn't a 12.
Don't even worry about it. Tell me what you do. How this thing has a big hole through its back. You can actually see through its open mouth through into the dirt below. You can control the earth in whatever way you want. It has been bruised and battered, but it looks like the majority of its damage is around its mouth.
I can control the earth?
Yeah.
Well, then, giant spike suddenly comes up and just splits it in two.
Yeah, absolutely. That you send a spike through its gut, and just like an earthbender in Avatar, you split the pillar in two and just split this one in half as well. And from like 6 feet up in the air, it shatters into pieces at the ground on the ground below. And this other tomb tapper just idly stands there amidst you guys, just sitting there.
Mary will, like, on the ground, like, picking herself up, holding a camera, pulling it out in one hand, is just taking pictures of this. And
you come out of the van, yeah.
Shouting to Adrian, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to, I promise.
So, Adrian has an unstable wound, and is on his last hit point. And his unstable wound is extremely unstable, but what do you do, Adrian, because you have battlefield medicine, right?
Hang on. Explain the harm, because I'm showing 2 boxes.
I thought I looked and saw one. Did you not take harm in the fight with the Faerim? That's right, you didn't.
No.
All right.
I only
no.
have one harm starting.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. So you are on your last hit point. If you take the next one.
After this, then I'm unstable.
No. You're unstable after that line. You see, after 3, the 4th one is unstable. And then after that, when you hit your 7th harm, you are now you're technically now dying, but given your current circumstances,
I was reading like the unstable was the last thing.
No.
Before you died
That is just a marker to represent. You can actually read it right underneath. It says when you reach 4 or more, mark unstable. Unstable injuries worsen as time passes.
Oh yeah, that's right. All right, yeah, I got 1 left.
He's on his last hit point. Adrian, I will say, you can attempt to battlefield medicine, but you are not going to be the one doing it. You are going to be walking anyone else through the process to heal you.
Doesn't Chuck know little surgery? Didn't he perform surgery?
He's still controlling.
Chuck is catatonic currently.
Oh, that's right.
But Dakota will run up to you and be like, Adrian!
I can't lay hands on myself.
You've already used up that juice. You don't get the feeling that you're going to get that back for a bit. But Dakota is hurriedly reaching for your medic pack that she knows you keep on you.
Grab vodka.
God.
Cleanse things.
It's gonna hurt, right? And she just starts pouring the bottle of antiseptic alcohol over your face. Sorry. All right. So. All right. From the chance that we've worn out your dice, Pat, can you roll 2d6 for me?
I've shown her where the morphine shot is, or the whatever. Just stab it and install it. Other good stuff. So.
You're gonna need a heck of a lot more than a morphine shot, my guy.
That's right.
Hey, Thomas.
Yes.
I need to go.
I know. Thank you, Evelyn. She did great. We're right at the end of the session. I wanted to try and get to it, but...
Yeah.
Bye!
Bye, guys. Bye.
Just Everything's gonna get all off because she left.
Oh, there it is.
God!
My face,
That's
my
cool.
camera has moved. I'm half a man that I once
Yes.
was.
Yes, my dice are cooling off. That's a 10.
It's a 10. Oh, just a casual
I'm
full
usually-
success.
With the plus cool. With the plus cool. It's a 10.
Yeah,
So
for
it
her
was
that is an
8.
11. Because you are not making the roll, she is making the roll. Sorry, guys. Hi, I'm back. Okay. You are not going to get the full effect of healing, but she is going to stabilize your wounds temporarily, I will say. She puts gauze heavily around your wound, holds it until the bleeding stops, and then wraps it around your head to hold it tight. And we can end tonight's session there,
Okay,
unless...
my last action will be to push a button on my agency phone. And it's the emergency 911.
Sweet.
They know to send help.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Yeah, Dakota healing you. Raven...
I'm unconscious at this point, so...
Now, I do have a question for you, Chuck. What are your plans with this tomb tapper? Because you know you're not going to be able to hold this thing for long. And once you let go...
I thought the idea was to just basically stand there and let them tear it apart.
Yeah, you could even have it tear itself apart if you want.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
whatever.
you can ground
way.
spike yourself in half.
Yeah. So however you do it, you kill the last tomb tapper, and the Mage Tower, quote unquote, of divination is saved.
In a fit of sorrow and rage, should just take all that aggression of being taunted by her internet friends and the Twitter account thing, and just tear the tomb tapper apart with her bare hands.
Listen, we don't have all month.
We don't have all month. You're right. It's the trouble with giving monsters armor.
And then while she's doing that, Chuck can film it on his camera and post it to the...
You're right. Well, cool. Man, oh man. You guys killed some really high health and high armor monsters. 3 of them, all at the same time, because you prepped really well. This is what I love about Monster of the Week. If you know what you're coming up against, you can really mess them up. You guys rolled stupidly well. Like, just disgustingly
Really.
well.
Except
for that one, those couple of well-timed failures, which I appreciate. Thank you for these gifts.
Sure.
You're welcome. You're very welcome. I got experience, and we need to do our end of session stuff.
All right, end of session questions. You guys ready to answer some questions?
Sure.
Yeah.
Let me just like I'm gonna
unstable. I can't answer
disappear Evelyn's camera. That way everything is more visually pleasing on the stream. All right. Everybody in the chat, all of my players, help me answer these questions. Did we conclude the current mystery?
I don't know. Did we? I mean, we haven't figured out who the eyeball thing is.
I am going to say the mystery of the tomb tappers and what escaped from Sikoris. We'll say for now, yes. That's not to say that there aren't bigger questions in mind.
But did they escape from Sikoris?
That is
were
what
they there
Edgar
to
said
attack
he saw.
Sikoris?
That is what Edgar said he sensed.
But isn't Sikoris under Yellowstone?
It
Why
is.
would they be destroying where they're from?
They weren't destroying where they were from. They were gathering magic items, as far as you're aware, which is what their task was. If you recall, the tomb tappers were created to destroy the Faerun. And the working theory that you guys came up with was because a Faerun showed up in Yellowstone, these things woke up from whatever slumber they were in, and they were called out. You guys just happened to do their job for them. But in response, they then kept doing whatever their task was after that, which is gather magic items and bring them back home.
So they were there not to attack the tower, but to gather the tower?
To gather the tower, which would have the unfortunate side effect of dismantling what it does.
No, they would have just sunk it down into the ground hole, right? Because they can affect the ground. They wouldn't have sunk it down to the city to keep the sphere right on top of the city instead of over the whole park.
You're not sure what the sort of topographical difference between where the Smith Mansion is and the city
below. These are all morphine-induced deductions.
I'm totally down for that. But we'll say yes on concluding the current mystery.
Okay.
Did you guys save someone from certain death or worse?
Several times, yes. I saved Dakota. Dakota saved me. Being unconscious, I've saved Mary's life for driving my truck on top of me.
Raven saved you. Yes, you guys certainly did that.
Raven saved Chuck.
Did we learn something new and important about the world?
It sucks.
That there might be a force that's outside Alamrot that is seeking to get into the city underneath Yellowstone. I feel Indeed. Like that was And
you guys theorized about what could the eyeball be. Lots of things got eyeballs, but not a lot of them focus on just one. A lot of good theories were thrown around. I love it. I love when players theorize about stuff that I tell them, even if potentially one of the players might have some meta knowledge that he's doing a really good job of not bringing into the game. But did we learn something new and important about one of the hunters? I don't think so.
Very creative when he controls something.
Yeah, well, that's actually, you know what? Chuck does get pretty destructively creative when he's in control of a body that he doesn't care about. I'll take that answer, Rob. I like that answer. We'll give that a yes. So with 4 yeses, you guys can each mark 2 experience.
I level up again because I failed so much.
What does that bring you to? Is that your 6th level?
That is my 6th.
But by the way, Chuck also hit his 6th level.
That means you guys can take advanced improvements.
Awesome.
Uh-huh.
So why don't we, actually, I'm going to, just because,
I still have to figure out what for my 5th was.
Mary, I'm going to pull up your character sheet, and I'm going to show the stream what advanced improvements are for you. Change playbooks. Mary could entirely change from a flake, which would be crazy if she did that, to another playbook, which would be really, really fun. Create a second hunter to play. That's a fun one. You could bring in someone potentially from Mary's backstory and play 2 hunters at the same time. +1 to any rating, max +3 is just generally really good. You can advance 2 of your basic moves, which advanced moves are really, really good. For example, one that Mary would be good at, Investigate a Mystery. The advanced Investigate a Mystery means you can ask any question you want, not just the listed ones, which is kind of huge in the realm of the game system, because the whole point of the list of questions is it limits down sort of the complicatedness of any question you could ask to very specific topics. Being able to ask anything is pretty huge.
I'm excited.
Yeah, that could potentially be a really good one to take. Retire this hunter to safety could be an option for Mary. She's put herself in a lot of danger recently, geotagging with a tweet. And erasing a luck point is huge as well. Although you're up on 4 out of 7. So you're getting there. But
yeah.
But yeah. Fun.
Fun indeed.
Well, thank you guys. Thank you everybody for joining in today's stream. Again, I know it's not GHA, but you will have GHA next week. Things are coming back to regular here at Blue Box. You will have tomorrow, oh my gosh, the illustrious Ghost of New Jersey joining us on stream to talk about singers and dancers alike and how their magic is really cool. And also, I don't know, how not to fall in the pit trap of being horny bard.
Yeah.
Which is, common. A common archetype, I would say.
Do you want to give a advertisement for that, Rob?
What, horny bard? No.
No.
My favorite tavern.
I mean, and really, we're going to talk about bards, way the class plays, way people tend to play the class, and alternative ideas for how to not only for the players but for DMs as well, to make a bard a little bit more than the cliche it's become.
And I did mean it. If you want an extra guest, I would totally be down to join on that. But check out tomorrow. Start time, I assume, is 5:45 or 5:30 or whatever we're going to. Around the same time as this.
For LMA.
Gonna be awesome. Gonna be a lot of fun. What are you in reference to any specific edition of the game we play, or sort of edition agnostic?
No, if you've actually seen any of the Castle Crusades games with anybody playing a bard, they end up being the same thing anyway. So
just sort of general bard advice.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the only edition that was weird that really didn't have it for bards was first edition. That's because you actually had to go through multiple steps just to get to be a bard in the first place.
First edition was an interest. I didn't even realize that bard was an option in first edition. But that's fun stuff. That's going to be a lot of fun. And then this Sunday, you will catch the entire cast back again for Rune Lords. Not just Markov and Alcott. If you did miss the Markov and Alcott solo, the boys stream, I highly recommend going and checking the VOD. It was a heck of a lot of fun. A lot of good roleplay. And Markov, his shell broke for the first time. It was gorgeous.
He's a broken man.
Oh, well. And thank you to all you watching the stream. You know it's not a Blue Box stream unless we ask that question. So why don't we ask that question? Listen, if you've been watching this stream and you've enjoyed it, and I'm certain you have, because of course you have, why don't you, there's a little heart button down there. You haven't pressed it yet. That's one thing, but like if you're following already, you got that heart button. If you mouse over it and it looks like the heart's gonna break, you're following. Don't click that. That's not a good thing. What you could is mouse over just a little bit. There's that subscribe button. You could be clicking on that. But then even further, if you've already clicked that subscribe button.
Twitch subs are free.
Yes, if you have a Twitch, if you have Amazon Prime, you can resub for free every single month. But beyond that, speaking of resubbing, if you're a sub and your sub has expired and you haven't resubbed, I think the four of us would like to ask a question to those specific groups of people. What are you doing? Thank you guys for watching Blue Box. Chandler is going to be streaming mere moments after this.
Mere moments.
Unless you've already gone live.
I have not. Mr. Grantler will be live. Right now I am currently fixing some errors.
Gotta love errors.
Yeah, with drivers. But as soon as that's done, we're live, and we're gonna be going to the
Donald Driver.
Donald Driver, yes.
What will you be playing?
Adam Driver.
We will be playing Ace Attorney. Join the law offices of Peterson and Associates as we protect our clients. Did you know you have rights? We're here to defend them.
All right.
Sue somebody for driving on my head.
Thank you guys very much. Peace out. Blue Box out. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.